All right, let me share the love. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Bam, bam, bam. Bam. All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Afro
yeah,
got his scully in his hoodie on and whatnot.
it's cold. Yeah, a lot of people like this look. A lot of people like when I mix it up. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies, get a man who can do both. I try to keep things professional. You know, I wear the dress shirt and all of that stuff, but that's not what I wear all the time. And it's a good to show the variety, the mix.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Some of the rooms are acting a little, funky. From earlier this morning, two lives totally froze. One panel I was on, and it stayed up for a few hours. Um, the gifting options. I needed to recharge, but I can't recharge, and they're working on the issue. So I don't know if it's the storm transfer, a new ownership, or somebody reporting the lives, but we're gonna give it a go. Correct?
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. We're not gonna have a struggle live though. So
Okay.
if the live is if it's just really tripping, if it's just really acting up and all of that, then we're just gonna close it up and we're gonna just try again another time. That's what we're just gonna have to do. That try again another time if it's really tripping like that. But we're gonna see what we can do.
Will ZZ be coming today?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She said
All
she's
right.
available, so
No problem.
she should be here in a few minutes. How you been? How's the weather in New York right now?
Cold, but I'm so happy that my heat is good. And if my heat wasn't good, I got a heater, a space heater. So I'm warm. I'm actually hiding from the snow. It looks very beautiful. I'm just not going to test the temperature.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, stay
Right.
safe. It was kind of cold. It was much colder the other day, yesterday. Much colder. Today it's cold, but it's less cold because it's snowing, and it was started snowing really last night, and it's still snowing now. So it's not snowing heavy, but it's snowing consistently, and the snow is building up and all of that. So you know,
Yeah, I hear the neighbors shoveling. I don't really hear too many of the, street sweepers. So it's a low hum outside. I guess they're getting started. Hopefully,
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. Well, that's good. That's good. And hopefully everybody's staying warm, staying safe, all of that. If you guys are in any part of America where the snow is going on or the storm is going on, please just stay inside. I know a lot of people trying to be out and still enjoy their weekend. Look, this is a weekend just to kick it in the crib. Don't panic, but let's just kick it in the crib this weekend. Stay safe, stay warm, all of that.
I'm gonna hate the after effect. Snow is pretty when it first falls, and then it gets that slush and all this other stuff, and
Hmm.
people start walking their dogs. Well, I'm in New York, so and then then you gotta watch where you're walking in the slushy snow because there might be some yellow parts.
Hmm.
But yeah. So, Black Americans standing back from ICE. Yeah, well, let ICE do their job, right? You can't get change if you're impeding the change. Yes, black ice is dangerous too. What's the word? Be careful on the roadways, please. They mentioned black ice. If you have an elderly loved one, friend, neighbor, um, just check on them. And if you're close to them, please go run their errands for them as far as groceries and things like that. Some elderly, they like to have their paper or their snacks. I don't know what other little trinkets they like.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Y'all just we gotta look out for each other. We gotta look out for each other. Um, that's true.
But yes, Afro, we're not actively protesting with them. We do have our own issues. People seem to forget that no matter the period that these immigrants are going through or they feel they are facing, Black Americans are always going through something in this country. And for the first time in my lifetime, we are more collectively against impeding ICE at this time, let ICE do their job. So that's where I'm at with it. Let them do their job in peace, please, so we can move forward as a country.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I've seen a lot of people now. They're talking. I've seen some videos where they're fear mongering Black Americans, talking about there was this white dude or YT dude. You see, I ain't been on TikTok that long. I'm not getting with the TikTok language. There's this YT man. He was talking about, do y'all know that they're taking Black Americans because they mistake y'all for Africans and they're holding y'all and all of that stuff? I'm all like, okay, who has that happened to? Who has that happened to? Y'all saying that Black Americans are being detained just randomly. A lot of people are saying that on TikTok because, like I've said before, they're trying to get Black Americans riled up, foundational Black Americans riled up and going out there protesting ICE as if this is the police. They warned the same reaction that happened with George Floyd, they want to happen again. And despite the fear mongering and despite the propaganda and despite even the unaliving of two people, they're not really getting that reaction from Black Americans. Because the thing is that we're the people who are really the judge, who can either give a thumbs up or thumbs down, and that determines the legitimacy of any protest, of any social movement. Okay, and we have to understand our history with this. Going back to the feminist movement, right? The first wave of it. The feminist movement, when it came to YT women, didn't really do anything until Black women got involved, because YT women didn't have a moral legitimacy behind them. And they were complaining about their mistreatment and all of this and all of that. But it fell on deaf ears. And it fell on deaf ears because they are a part of the oppressor class. They're the ones out there aiding and abetting and subjugating other groups of people, Black people. So when they cry about oppression, it's like, you can't, the robbers crying about being robbed, you know what I'm saying? And the movement didn't go anywhere really until Black folk got involved. And this has been everybody's movement. All other groups of people, when they had social movement, even when you talk about movements overseas, like we talk about apartheid in South Africa, when we talk about Vietnam, movements don't really go anywhere. They don't advance until foundational Black Americans get involved and give moral legitimacy to it. Okay, because we have something in this life that nobody else has, in this time period that nobody else has, and that's moral legitimacy. All right, so this is what they want fighting ICE. And you see a whole bunch of, YT liberals and other immigrants and things like that fighting against ICE, but you don't see the stamp of approval of foundational Black Americans as a collective. You'll have some Democrat shills out there, but as a collective, you don't see that. You don't. All right. As a matter of fact, what you do see is us saying that we're standing back. Now, of course, you'll have the shills out there. You'll have the Don Lemons, and then you'll have I'm trying to think, the D.L. Hugleys and all of those people who are out there like, oh, this is horrible. I can't believe this. But they've been delegitimized. And that was a big deal the last election. They've shown that their allegiance and their loyalty is not towards the betterment of the community, is not towards the community, is towards the party, even if that means being in spite of the Black community. So therefore, when D.L. Hughley, when Roland Martin, when they get out there, especially Roland because he's a tether, when tethers get out there and they start complaining about injustice, they don't have a leg to stand on because they've been delegitimized. All right? They've been delegitimized. So They need legitimate voices of black media to get out there and to wave the banner and to sound the alarm against ICE, and that's not happening. That's not happening. Collectively, it's not happening. And because of that, they have no organization, they have no legitimacy, they have no structure, and the movement is not going anywhere. They seem like a bunch of people without a cause. They're fighting without a cause. It seems like a bunch of angry temper tantrums being thrown. For real, honestly. Just a bunch of angry temper tantrums because they don't like ICE. They don't like Trump, really. It's not even ICE. They just don't like Trump. And we're just not bestowing legitimacy. Now, things are getting pretty dangerous. People are losing their life, which is not something we should celebrate. I don't celebrate it. In the cases where life has been lost, I don't even approve of that. I think ICE was overstepping. I think ICE did too much in those cases. I can't help but remember, though, that those would be the cases and everybody being outraged about it, whether that's the mayor of Minneapolis, whether that's the governor, all of this. I can't help but thinking about how when it came to black people, everybody was kind of debating about if it was right or wrong, and there was an investigation going on and all of that stuff. People didn't jump to the news conference and reprimand the police when it happened to George Floyd. People didn't jump in front of the news camera and jump in front of an interview and talk about how unconstitutional the police treats black people. Politicians didn't do that. You didn't have politicians weeping and crying and moaning and hooping and hollering like they do with ICE about violating black Americans' constitutional rights. I just can't help but remember when our constitutional rights were being violated, which has always happened, which is still happening now. I can't help but, I can't help but think like, damn, this is kind of funny. Y'all have a very different reaction when it comes to them. Is it because the complexion might be different? Is it because what happened to Breonna Taylor isn't supposed to happen to a woman like Renee Good? Is it that? And this is why I'm telling black people to stay away from this. This is not a cause that we benefit from. First off, I don't even agree with necessarily what they're fighting for anyway. Real talk, honestly. I don't agree with it. Okay? They're not doing it off the basis of a constitutional right being violated, of citizens of the country having their rights violated. They're not doing it off of that. They're not doing it off of like a moral basis. You know what I'm saying? It's just a temper tantrum, really. Off of the cause is they want their neighbors to be exempt from the law, apparently, and they want us to go out and protest off of people who nobody's making the argument benefits the black community, because they don't. All data, all statistics, all studies have shown that illegal immigration harms the black community. And nobody's making a fuss about that. That's not an issue. That's not an issue. But yet they still want us to sacrifice ourselves on their behalf. And no. We're doing exactly, precisely what we should be doing, which is standing back from this situation. That's exactly what we should be doing. All right? If everybody can do me a favor, I know TikTok is kind of going through like a glitchy phase right now for whatever reason, we don't know. So if if it operates well, we're going to keep it open. If it doesn't, then we're going to just wrap things up early. But if everybody can tap the screen, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So we're going to get stuff started. If y'all want to come up and y'all agree or disagree, y'all can feel free to come up. Zizi, what have you heard about the situation?
Peace. Yeah, Black Americans for the most part, we've been on a grassroots. We've been on the same page. I will say the reasonings for some of us is a little bit different. There was like there's a lot of infighting going on. There's still a lot of infighting going on. But some of the Black Americans on the left, the Democrats, particularly the black women that were so adamant on Kamala winning, a lot of them, reverted to, well, we told y'all so. A lot of them was like, hey, look, well, we told y'all what it was. Y'all little Latinos want to go and vote for who you voted for and want to align with who you want to align with. Now you getting what you laying in the bed you set. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, either way you want to look at it, I'm not even mad as long as we can all come to the consensus, which is happening, that we don't need to be participating in this, because this is absolutely outrageous. It has nothing to do with this. We have too many issues for Black Americans. It's like whenever there's something else happens, or it seems like there's always something curated to happen to try to prioritize other issues over top of Black Americans. It's a part of benign neglect. So we already know that there's too many atrocities that has happened to our particular group that hasn't even been addressed, yet alone repaired from reparations. But you want us to go out and risk our lives or go on the front lines against ICE for a group of people that practice anti-Black racism? That's ass backwards. I'm sorry. So no, I'm not about to ask Black people to go out here and fight for people who ain't been fighting for us. I'm sorry, that's not it. We got too many issues to worry about on our damn own. So yeah, I love to see that there's not a lot of Black Americans. For the most part, the protests that I do see is not a lot of us out there. Some of us are, I don't know if you've seen that couple where they talked about they had a baby and the ICE threw like
I saw that. Yep.
You seen that? But you seen it? They was at the protest apparently with the baby. Something like that. It was like an hour.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm all like, okay, you're saying on camera you didn't know where the protests were. First off, I don't know how anybody can accidentally drive into a protest.
Right.
I have no idea how that's possible.
Doesn't make sense at all.
They just look up like, wow, we're in the middle of a protest. That's crazy. And you have a baby. Why are you bringing your kids there unless you want something to happen? And then you can be like, my baby, oh my God. Like, what are you doing?
Right. That doesn't make a lick of sense, especially if you standing outside the car. So you ain't trying to get to where you going, even if you are driving through a damn protest. You outside the car with these niggas, so you clearly got other intentions to just passing by or just driving through. So yeah, but for the most part, other than that, I really have not been seeing us for on the front lines, and that's what I love to see. And matter of fact, I will say some of the melanated people I have seen out there are non-FBAs. It's a lot of the non-FBAs too, who are tethers, are trying to get Black Americans together to get out there as well. So, but as far as Foundation of Black Americans, it seems like we out of this, and we should be. So I love to see it.
Mm-hmm. What have you been seeing?
ZZ, really, really fast. And you too, Afro. So there is a young lady and on this app who lives in Minnesota. She has not accidentally run into a protest. She says in her area, she really doesn't see it. She was a little surprised by that. But when she goes into a certain area, then she'll see it. But accidentally, she hasn't seen it, in certain necks of the woods. So I think that being there for them, it wasn't an accident, right? They had to look for it. So that's not like all over, that, what is it, city? It's not all over the city or state. It's
Right.
like in constant, I'm going to assume it's in concentrated areas.
It usually is. So
Yeah, most protests are usually, I've yet to see a protest that's literally statewide. Anywhere you go outside, there's a I've yet to see that. Even during George Floyd, that wasn't going on. So I'm like, okay.
Right.
They were looking for problems. That's the thing. They were looking for problems.
Yeah. And so the other thing I wanted to say about the non-FBA, I noticed that too. And every now and then I'll go on like white tea media or post just to read the comments, right? And what I have been doing is giving a little bit of information about how to spot the difference. So it was one post of a guy with dreads, a brown skinned man. At first glance, you're gonna think he may be Black American. And he's like, "We stand with ICE. We want ICE out of here. And we're not serving ICE." So I read a comment that said, "Well, it's your country. How come you want illegals here and you're not allowing, ICE to do their job?" I said, because maybe he's not a Black American. Maybe he's a Jamaican, a Haitian, a Nigerian. I said, there is a difference. they have dual allegiance, whereas Black Americans, unless you're Pan African, child, but Black Americans, for the most part, we understand this is our homeland, and we want to make our homeland be better. So, we will allow ICE to do their job. We do also understand that fear mongering. Please don't come over here. They detaining black people. Well, stop putting the immigrants in our areas, and then ICE won't have to come into our areas. So I want to say this. We understand that. I want to say to my people, screw the other people and their feelings. I saw a white tee protesting them putting immigrants in their area, and Mayor Adams was basically kissing their ass. I didn't have no choice, but I tried not to put them in your area. We can take a stand and say we don't want these people in our area. Why? Because of things like this. So we may be detained, but we ain't getting deported nowhere. So I want to say that. Afro, that's it. I just wanted to piggyback.
Yes, thank you. Let's start this conversation, family. All right, we got Mike. How you doing, bro?
How are you, Afro? You okay, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so I'm living in the UK from London. I'm originally from Somalia.
Okay.
And yeah, basically, I 100% understand the reason why the Black American community has decided to stand down. Because the Black American community, from as far back as you could remember, was always fighting for social justice for itself, for all of the other ethnic groups, non-stop. But then, unfortunately, as soon as the other ethnic groups were given favor by the YT establishment, they actually threw Black Americans under the bus. And now it is therefore the Black Americans' right to say, okay, look, we're not going to be caping for anyone anymore. It's game over. And it is completely unacceptable and unfair for the Somali community and the Hispanic community to start shouting and to start arguing and bullying the Black American community into helping it. You will never find those same communities asking YT people or Asian Americans or East Indian Americans or Native American Indians to come out and to protest for them. So basically, I think all of the communities need to stand on business. They need to fight this problem that they have for themselves, and they should just leave Black Americans alone to get on in pursuing their own agenda. That's what I generally believe.
Yeah. I'm going to say this also, and thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. I'm going to say this also. A lot of people bring up the last major wave of protests we had during the situation with George Floyd, during the George Floyd uprising. And everybody was like, well, we were out there and we helped Black Americans. We helped you guys. We were out there and all of this. Okay. Which is arguable because there's a lot of people who are claiming to be out there and we're not out there. There's a lot of people claiming, every community and their mama claiming they were outside fighting on behalf of George Floyd. Okay, let's say that. That was in 2020. There's been a lot of situations where foundational Black Americans have gone, there's been a lot of things we've gone through since 2020, okay? We've had Peyton Gendrons and Ryan Palmetter's people running into grocery stores, pew-pewing Black Americans. We've had several other incidents since George Floyd where there has not been any support, there hasn't been any help, there hasn't even been, as far as any real acknowledgement of any other community, for real. Okay? There really hasn't been. And you all, I'm not saying you, there's a lot of people who are bringing up George Floyd like we owe them something. We were out there for you guys. Y'all owe us. No, we don't owe you all this. Okay? We've been doing this. First off, when it came to Black Americans' fight against police brutality, that was not nothing new. George Floyd was not the beginning of that. Okay? It was a lot of us building that up, and then George Floyd was the thing that got everybody outside. However, There's been a lot of other fighting we've done since the civil rights, before then, after then, every time in between, with no assistance from any of these other groups of people. Nor, and here's a key thing, nor did we nag anybody else. Nor, we did not nag nobody. We didn't beg nobody to go outside. We didn't say, come on guys, please help us. Please get involved. We didn't do that. We didn't get mad and troll and threaten. No, we didn't do that. We didn't try to fear monger anybody else. It's happening to black people, but it could be happening to you guys next. We didn't do that. Okay, we were out there and we said we're going to stand on business. If anybody else wants to come, they come. If they don't, cool. And yet we have people literally on their platforms night and day, fear mongering, begging us to get involved. That's not a good look. It's really not. It's really not.
In addition to this, in regards to the George Floyd incident, what I noticed was that a lot of people were not specifically protesting against what happened to George Floyd. They were protesting against police brutality and against police repression, because those ethnic minorities may not suffer the same level of brutality as the black Americans, but they also suffer racism at the hands of the police, and even YT people suffer.
One moment.
Sorry, boss. Sorry, miss.
Afro.
Yeah, so basically.
No, wait, Mike.
Yeah.
Afro, do you believe that the immigrants, the melanated ones especially, right, face racism at the hands of the police? I don't believe that immigrants are facing racism in this country. I argue that they're facing xenophobia, Islamophobia even, and that because they'll be like a couple, but they're not targeted because of racism, right? So we face every vestige here in the United States of America, the school to prison pipeline, mass incarceration. So slavery never really ended, it evolved, right? Because what does it say? Slavery is not allowed unless you commit a crime and are incarcerated. That's me paraphrasing, right? Now, in New York City, one of the most diverse places there is, they have ways to alert the police. They ain't black American, right? So they'll have their cars, even their air fresheners will indicate their island, just little things like that. There's a video of a Haitian saying when he came into contact with the police, he emphasized his accent a little bit more. So I think to have it labeled as racism, they have to be targeted. And I don't feel they are targeted.
Well, there are cases where they face racism, because there are cases where you can't tell. I mean, we can bring up cases of Ahmaud Arbery and things like that. You can bring up cases of Botham Jean.
Kai Gurley.
Okay.
So there are cases of them discriminating just based off of black phenotype. However, I do understand what you're talking about. And what you're talking about is systemic racism and practices of establishments and things like that they don't face to the degree that we face, or they don't face the way we face it, So
what I'm trying to say is,
yes, I'm sorry to interrupt.
1 minute, Mike. 1 minute. So I didn't even know Ahmaud Arbery wasn't foundational. What I'm saying is, in those cases, did those white supremacy think he was one of us? Because even Malcolm X said the African and the dark-skinned Puerto Rico, they would be okay in the South, correct? When he was speaking to James Farmer. That's all. That's what I'm saying. It's a case of mistaken race.
Yeah.
Ethnic group.
Okay.
So basically,
hold on. Let me say this.
Sorry.
In cases where they are mistaken or whatever, I wouldn't say that just because and Malcolm X did say that, and that is true, that they don't face what we face. It's not, I wouldn't say personally, I don't think it's very advantageous for us to dismiss racism in general, because we do have to understand this is a system of YT supremacy. And we're not the only targets in that system. We're the main targets because we're the people who fight back. So they will target them. There is racist practices and practices based off of their racial category that they do face, whether that's directly or indirectly. Most of it is indirect and most of it is by proxy, but I wouldn't dismiss it entirely just because, well, they didn't know. They thought you were one of us. Even if they did, that could be an example of racism. So they do face racism, just not to the systemic level that we do.
Yeah, I'm sorry to have caused. Sorry. So basically, yeah. I mean, my apologies if I caused any offence. The idea was not to say that immigrant groups face anywhere near the systemic problems that the Black American community do, but because they feel slightly aggrieved by the police, that was probably the reason why they were coming out onto the protest. They weren't doing this to help the Black American community. They were doing this in order to get the same kind of privileges as whitey people with the police force. And the whitey people were trying to get the same kind of privileges that perhaps the billionaire class would have. So they felt aggrieved and they felt, oh, we're being treated just like the Black American community, which is not true. So it was a case of, I want to do something against the police. It wasn't about helping Black American, and they can't use, oh, I helped George Floyd, now you've got to help me, because they were helping themselves. They weren't helping Black Americans.
Thank you, Mike. So, Afroleet, I value your insight. This conversation has taken place in other rooms.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you understand my position. I understand yours
Yeah,
too. And we could leave it at that. Yep.
yeah.
So that wasn't to kind of throw you off track, Mike, but this conversation has been starting, and so I'm very, and so I just interrupted you for a minute and got the host decision for his insight as well.
Yeah,
That's
thanks for
all.
giving me the information. I really appreciate it, BX.
No problem.
All right. Okay. And this is to say that, yeah, we can understand different points of views and different things of the sort. We can understand different points of views and different things of the sort. We can understand that and respect that and appreciate that, right? You know, and then maybe some people's opinions might change, maybe some people's don't, but we're all adults here. You know what I'm saying? Delineationist, you got it.
Yeah, you had me really grab the mic quick on this one because the problem when immigrants try to act like they have the same plight as black people, we have to keep in mind that the origins of the police department came from the slave patrol, right?
Mhm.
And it evolved into other things of that nature. ICE is specifically designed against immigrants and people who could be possible threats based off their criminality from other nations and the things that they have engaged with here on American soil. So it's two different things that are going on here. And this false equivalency that they like to push in order to gain legitimacy here in America is the problem that I have here. Especially when they come with these type of talking points. They have not experienced the longevity in which we had when it comes to police brutality and harms and injustice and mistreatment. And just because they come over here illegally does not give them the same legitimacy when it comes to their interaction with law enforcement. That's the problem here. And for when people keep pushing that narrative, they're downplaying the G slide and the E slides that has happened to our people. Remember, We Charge G Slide is actually a book from our people who actually went to the United Nations to talk about police brutality and the things that has happened to us as a people. The thing is, none of these groups has supported us ever since 1965 and onward. So if you can even bring up even Akai Gurley, the Africans did not go lock arms with the black brothers and sisters here in America, in New York, and etc., and say, hey, these people are punishing us and attacking us based off of race. Never did that, and they never had, because they were here to replace us as a people. They were willing to use the tools of oppression and even used to whip themselves, even how they treat our brothers and our sisters when they're locked behind the walls. This is why people who are very educated in that side of the sector, I don't like when they do that, because they're downplaying our plight and our existence here as people. And that's unacceptable. We will never go to their countries and go against and downplay the situation in SARS in Nigeria. We will never go to other communities and downplay their issues in Africa when it comes to their brutality. But they can come over here in the quote unquote the land of the free, home of the slave, and they could talk all this nonsense. And if it's so bad, then why are you over here? That would be my question. If it's so bad, why are you over here in the United States? You should go back home where you belong and make your nation better. But they're two cowards, and they want to sit here and compare to us because they want to be the handmaids to white tea supremacy. It's already worse enough that we got these devils on our necks. The last thing we want is a dusty sandal on it as well. I just had to check in on that because that really irritates me, brother.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, and let's be honest with it. Let's be honest. When people are trying to make the comparison to this and the police and what we've had to deal with, which is what the fake Black Panther Party is out here doing. They're out here trying to make it seem as if, well, the police are going through this, and the police, we've dealt with this with the police, and these are slave catchers, and these are the descendants of slave catchers. Oh, that's not what this is about. And stop trying to compare our history to what is going on right now. This is not what that was. And by the comparison, the false and outrageous comparison, the disingenuous comparison, what it actually does is it waters down what we've been having to go through, what we've been having to live through. You know, when you make it seem like these people are out here being slave catchers, these people are not slaves. Okay? These people voluntarily came to this country. For whatever reason they did, they voluntarily came to the country. Therefore, they cannot be a slave. They are not slaves here. So to compare them to actual slave catchers, ICE, to actual slave catchers is very disrespectful. All right? And they're only doing that to try to create some type of parallel between what illegal immigrants are going through with ICE and what Black Americans have gone through with police and slave catchers.
Can I chime in on one part? And I'm going to add something. Their goal is to say that racism doesn't exist. And this is the narrative that I've seen on the collegiate levels, right? Where they'll say, well, because of my skin color, because I look like you, I went through the same oppression. Therefore, racism doesn't exist. It's just that they just don't like everybody. And this is the narrative that immigrants are are pushing on behalf of white tea supremacy. This is why I have a problem with it from an intellectual sense, from grad school, lower grad, all different levels of collegiate education that I had to deal with. That I shouldn't have to explain the oppression of my people here on the American soil. It should be taken as fact because I'm a citizen here. But when it comes to them, they'll explain their oppression in the detail, and I have to resonate with that as a collegiate student at that time. And this is the false equivalence that I talk about in my books. This is the false equivalency that I talk about from an academic sense that is dangerous for our people. Because it's meant to say that, well, racism doesn't exist. You know, white tea supremacy doesn't exist. Because you know what? Jorge over here, he's not going through the same thing as this Negro delineations is going through. He's just crying and complaining. That's what the undertone from an intellectual sense of what they're talking about here. Mm-hmm. And this is what's so dangerous because they get into peer-reviewed journals. It goes all around the world, and it devalues what we're going through. So when we take it to the United Nations, when we take it to other people to garner support, they'll pull these guys out the closet to undermine us from an intellectual sense. So it's a very dangerous conversation that these guys are engaging with on the American soil to be adversary against us.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry to go on, but this really is a pet peeve of mine.
I get it. I get you. I get the passion. I totally understand it. And I respect it. I totally understand it. And I respect that. Yeah, most certainly. Most definitely. All right. We got our brother Denzimus in the building. What's going on, bro?
Oh, I'm just dealing with this snowstorm. East Coast is atrocious right now. Um,
I feel your
I was
pain.
giving.
It's crazy.
Sorry, what happened?
I said I feel your pain, man. I'm in DC.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just wanted to come up to say I want to remind everyone that okay, I don't have anything against these other groups on an individualistic level, but
Hmm.
as a collective, I want everybody to remember that before the Orange Man got into office, how much shit these people were talking when they thought it was going to be hell on earth for us. Professor Black Truth, he says that I don't want to. I'm going to try and quote him correctly, but he said something about how there's a machine there is a machine, and that machine is usually us suffering. And these other groups would listen to this machine, and they would be like, "Oh yeah, everything is a okay." Now the machine is starting to turn off, and now it's starting to turn against them, and they want to have egg on their face because they're getting in a messed up situation. I don't feel sorry for them because they knew what this man was going to do. I mean, it's like if the devil himself is telling you he's going to do something to you, what more could you possibly gain from that? Like, it's just common sense. Um, Now they have the nerve to compare ICE to um, the small hat's greatest enemy. No, these are the same. Like, I don't understand why you would do that when this country literally gave the small hat's greatest enemy all of their tricks in the first place. It's like, I feel like they know the history of this country. They just don't care because it just benefits them in the moment until them folks turn on their asses, as we always say. Their entire history is stabbing people in the back. I don't know why you people would come over here and think. First of all, I don't know why you would think that they like you in the first place. But their entire history is just they'll use you and they'll stab you in the back and cast you aside like you're nothing.
Hmm. Notice, let me just make this point. Notice how quiet everybody is when it comes to the disrespect of Black Americans. Notice how you don't see that. Notice before, especially during the last administration, notice how many people were making crazy podcasts. I'm talking about folks was making podcasts not even in America. Folks was making podcasts in the UK. Them Black Americans, they're lazy and all of that. They was making podcasts talking about the reason why we don't get stopped by the police is because um, uh, we know how to comply. Our parents teach us how to we know how to follow rules and all that
We
stuff. We're
work
not like,
harder,
you
nigga.
notice you notice all of those podcasts and episodes about them analyzing why we get beat up by, you notice all that. You ain't seen none of that at
Mm-mm.
all. I'm talking about it's super silent. It's quiet as hell. You can hear a pin drop.
You would now, when it comes to the tethers, you would think after the Botham Jean situation they would learn, but no. Hell, even now, with the whole Venezuela situation, the Spanish tethers, they haven't even learned. They're still dividing each other, and just I, I spoke to some of them, and they said that, well, not non-Venezuelans. I spoke to some non-Venezuelans, and they said that they don't care. Those are not their people. I'm just like, wow. Wow. Okay, you just gonna if they won't unite with that, I'm like, you already know what they think about us.
No. Everybody's being real quiet. I remember they was talking greasy, y'all. They was talking greasy. They had a lot of air in their chest. They was big and bad. Okay. A few years ago, they said we couldn't tell them nothing. They here and they here to stay, and there's nothing we can do about it. We need to get used to it. I always said, oh damn, all right, okay, if that's how it is, okay, then we're gonna see. We're gonna see that's how it is. And then next thing you know, okay, now it's happening to them. Now it's all like, well, um, oh boy, okay. This is gonna be an interesting conversation tonight, y'all. Hold on, let's see what we have over here. Hold on, this is gonna be a little interesting. That's a lot of people just requested out of nowhere. Oh my god. I guess the space is just kind of popping. Wow. Can y'all handle it? Okay. It's a lot of people. Hold on.
just looked at the numbers. How'd that go from 50 to that?
I really don't. This is crazy. It's a lot of people just flew into the room all of a sudden. I don't even, and people are requesting nonstop. This is. I'm just gonna try to accept some people, and we're just gonna handle it how it. Maybe they've been requested for a while, and maybe we just now seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
TikTok has
Well,
been acting
everybody-
all day,
TikTok
so.
is kind of tripping right now.
Right, so this might be one of the few rooms that's operating a bit normally, but they all say that it's glitching. So I'll go on mute. So you can get
Okay, we're gonna see. Okay, hopefully y'all been here long enough to hear the decorum of the room. So we're gonna get to y'all in turns before there's an open mic or anything. Even though I am gonna have to cycle some people out because a lot of people requesting. But let's see what we can do. We're gonna get the conversation flowing. So we're gonna get to our sister Louisiana original. Louisiana.
Okay.
Louisiana. Okay, well she's not ready right now. Let's get to Joyce or Joy in Germany.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey. I'm doing good. Are you guys talking about what just happened in Minnesota again?
Yeah, we're mentioning that in the whole premise of them trying to get Black Americans engaged. That's what we're talking about, for real.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought that I just came in on the last tail end of your last sentence. So that's why I was asking. I'm originally from Oklahoma. I live in Texas. I'm really disheartened by all the things that are happening in Minnesota. My aunt, her name was Clara Lupa Wilson. She's the one that started the sit-ins back in the civil rights era. So I'm really tied into those type of things.
Okay.
Do I believe that Black people should be involved? Yes, I do. And the reason why I say that is because when Black people were having to march for our civil rights, white people marched for us. If we think the fact that they have, if we think the fact that they won't, I know that Black people are scared. Everybody is scared to go out there and do it at some point or another. I have no problem going out there. But you know, I understand the fear, but what I'm saying is that if we don't all join together, just one single race can't do it. And I see whenever you see a lot of white people hitting the streets, you know something hopefully is going to happen. And the fact that they will kill them, they won't hesitate to kill us.
Okay, well, before we continue, we welcome difference of opinion here. We do. And
Right.
we'll have a civil debating conversation. However, TikTok monitors our lives very, very particularly. And we have to be very careful with the language that we use. So we can't say KILL. You got to kind of say
right.
unalive or spell it
Unalive.
out, or
That's
you know what I'm saying. So we got to be very careful in that sense.
I apologize for that. I remember that. I'm fairly new to TikTok, so I do understand that. But yeah. So that's the things we need to think about.
One moment, Joy. Are we getting ethnic groups?
I was about to ask. Yeah, I was about to ask that. Now you said your grandmother. You said her auntie. What did you say?
My aunt, yeah.
Your aunt. Okay.
She's in museums all across the United States for starting sit-ins in order for us to get our civil rights.
Okay. Well, much respect to her. So both your family members, where are they from? Where's your ethnic background of your family?
Well, I believe all Black Americans are originally from Africa. So
Where
are you from?
I'm just saying. Before we
I
go back, we don't have.
I said before, I'm from Oklahoma and I live in Texas. I said that to start off.
No, I know, but okay. Let me just say this, because what we're asking for is, are you Black American? Because there are people who come up and they be all like, well, they're talking and engaging, and then we find out that their parents were Jamaican.
Yeah, I understand.
So for context, we asked that question.
No. I'm Black American. I do know our slave ships came through the Caribbean and then to the United States and landed in Louisiana because I've done some history on our research. But I am Black American. I identify as African American.
Okay. Well, let's respond to what you said. You said that there were, first off, I want to add a correction there. Or specification. You said you landed in the Caribbean first and then you came to America?
No, I said our slave ships are all the way back.
Well, we don't. Okay, I got it. I misheard.
And then British Isles, then finally landed in Louisiana. Yeah. That's where all of my
Can I
family comes
ask it
from.
this
Okay.
way? Woman of Joy, if you've done your genealogy, do you reach in 1870 USA census? We're not talking about the transatlantic slave trade. We're talking about U.S. chattel slavery in this land. Can you find your ancestors on the 1870 USA census? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I've
Okay.
already done
Well,
that.
let's clear some stuff up with the argument, right? You said that we need to fight, and because there were, you said thousands of Caucasians and YT people, and they're sensitive about that word. That's why we say YT, right? There were
Okay.
thousands of them helping. When you actually look back and you actually like see some of the protests and all that, you will see that there was more YT opposition than there was help. There was a handful, and much credit to them. I will give anybody, despite their race or ethnic background, credit where credit is due. So there were some helpful YT people who were involved in the civil rights. Okay, there were some involved in the abolition of slavery. However, the collective of their community was against what we were on.
I
They were
agree.
the outliers in their community.
I
Um,
agree. And
so
I didn't say thousands. I said some. I don't know the exact number. I don't believe I said thousands. And if I did, I'm correcting myself. I said some. There were
Okay.
some that joined in with us. And until there was some really joining in there with us, we didn't get as much visibility when it was just us. That's what I'm saying. That's the point that I was making there.
well, I would argue that. I would argue that their presence there was. I'm not going to say it wasn't helpful, but was it a necessity where we couldn't get it done without them? I wouldn't argue because it wasn't even that many to make a huge difference like that in a lot of cases.
Well, I believe that, being that my aunt was friends with Martin Luther King and he says the same things, I'm going to go with that because they
Well,
were
Martin
there.
Luther King also said in his interview right before he was taken out with MSNBC, he also said that a lot of these Caucasian allies are not genuine in their help of the black struggle. He did say that. He said that a lot of them they don't want as much brutality, but for equity and real change that they're not there to support.
That's true. And two things can be true at once. There were some true allies for it. I'm not saying that they are the reason we had to get out there and march. But the fact that a lot of us don't want to step in now, I don't want to see anybody made unalive. Because here's where I stand. Let's just forget Martin. Let's forget my aunt. I'm just going to talk for Joy. I'm a Christian. And I don't know if you can say that or not. But I don't believe that anybody's life should be taken unless God takes it. That's where I stand on it. So when I see people that are being treated unjustly, when children are being taken away from their parents or put into to holdings down here in Texas, but they were taken away in Minnesota, that bothers me, especially as a mother and a grandmother of 5. That bothers me. And if it doesn't bother other people to see that, that's the way that you feel about it. But the way I feel about it is that until the whole country bands together, whatever color we are, wherever we came from, we're not going to get to see anything because they are holding the power right now legally.
Okay. I'm gonna let because Zizi wants to say something. I'm gonna let her say something. But before we continue, I want you to understand we're not out here wishing the unaliving of anybody. We're not out here doing that. However, we gotta put context in the situation. Zizi, you wanted to say something?
Now I wasn't even going to interrupt, but I will say, I think you're looking at this in the wrong point of view because you're talking about people getting snatched away from their families. They're not in their homeland. You can't get snatched away from your family in your homeland. So this is a problem of going back home. We're not fighting. I don't care how much of a Christian you are. I don't know how you would justify fighting for a criminal. You're breaking the law to fight in a land that you do not belong in, that you have no claim to, and that a land that also holds a people that has not been repaired yet. So as a Christian, I would think that you would prioritize, the atrocities done to yourself, your family, your community first before the others that came here voluntarily. And things may have been done to them. So I mean, I don't know. From a Christian point of view, it just sounds like it would make more sense, more godly. The more godly decision would be to fight for your own first, and then allow that to be a domino effect. But going out there to fight for people who are practicing anti-black racism, is ass backwards and don't make no sense to me. That don't really sound Christ-like, in my opinion.
Well, that's your
Can I
opinion.
say
But,
this? I
Can I
have a
can I speak?
Hold
question.
on,
One
hold on.
minute, everybody.
I'm gonna let her
1 minute.
respond. I'm gonna let her respond.
Okay.
Louisiana, I will let you speak though. I appreciate your support. I'll let you speak, but I'm gonna
she's
let you
welcome
respond.
to her opinion. They're welcome to.
Joyce or
That's
Joy. I keep saying
a
Joyce.
hush, child. That's what.
So that's where I come from.
They ain't want to say.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm coming from biblically that it says Jesus said, "Love God, love one another." He didn't say prioritize anything.
Okay.
So that's
Even
what,
hold on. Here's the thing though. Is it not also Christian like to say, you have to take care of yourself before your neighbor and all of that? You have to take care of your own family first. Is that not also?
where's that in? Where's that in the Bible?
Where's that in the Bible?
Where's
I don't know where it is in the Bible exactly.
not?
In the Bible, are you stupid?
It's not.
Okay, hold on.
Stupid?
I'm saying you have a responsibility to your family.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
Okay,
I wouldn't say
so
we
if
call
you're
this
responsible, that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I meant. So please don't misquote me, right? Okay.
exactly. I didn't say stupid. I didn't call anybody
No,
stupid.
somebody else
Nobody
came
needs to
off their
call me
mic.
stupid.
Okay. Okay. Does it also not say that you need to obey the laws of the land?
It does say obey the laws of the land. But
Okay, so
nothing comes above God's
now
laws.
if Christianity, and this is what a lot of, I'm gonna be honest, because it seems as if you're leaning liberally, and a lot of people use their Christianity to defend liberal ideology, even though in many cases it's not Christian like. So if in the Bible, it does say you need to obey the laws of the land, and these people are not obeying the laws of the land, and you're fighting for their right not to have to obey the laws of the land. Oh, yeah, exactly. Charity begins at home. That's exactly what I was thinking of. That is what the Bible says. Charity begins at home.
It does say that as well too. But
Okay,
there's
so
no
according to the Bible, are fighting on behalf of illegal immigrants because they're either legal or not legal, and they're not legal, illegal immigrants. Is that the Christian thing to do, to fight for their right to break the law in our homeland?
My issue is with them breaking the law with. My issue is with ICE breaking the law against you public already citizens of the United States. I didn't say anything about illegals. I did not say that. I said we all need to march for civil rights. Whatever civil rights is to you, that's what you need to march for. For me,
Okay.
I don't want to see anybody use that. The young man, that the things that happened this week, those are all American citizens, except for the man. They said that he was running and they took his 5-year-old son. I have children. I don't want to see my 5-year-old detained, and they are here on asylum. People can come here and ask for asylum. That's legal.
And asylum can be denied at any time.
But his is
legally.
not. But theirs is not. So that's what I'm saying. What are you
No.
saying?
No, no, it's a lot of them. They are a lot of
There's
them.
a
They're
lot of
asylum.
them, but I'm specifically talking about what's been brought up so far. Legal, what's been brought up as actual, not the ones that we haven't found yet. I'm not against finding the criminals. I'm not against people that have broken the law being taken out. I'm not. I'm not saying that. My husband was in the Navy. He was also the captain of police. All of my fathers and grandfathers, they fought in all of the wars. So I'm not saying that you should not be here illegally, or that you should be here illegally. Not once have I said that. If you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. But if you're not breaking the law and you're an American citizen, that is a problem for me.
Okay, but let me ask this. Where is the mature balance between ISIS coming in for a job? Now, despite the narrative, the country voted for this. The country knew what Donald Trump was going to do, and most people who voted, he won the popular vote and the what's that thing? The electoral vote and the popular vote. Okay, even though America knew this was going to happen, so this is what the process is. Why are American citizens getting involved in obstructing ICE, in preventing ICE from doing what their job is to do?
So
And we're supposed to be, like, for instance, hold on, man. For instance, I'm gonna give an example. Renee Good, honking her horn and warning about ISIS on the way and trying to get illegal immigrants to run away and hide and evade ICE. That's illegal.
If
And
they
that's
are
not
legal
something,
immigrants.
that's
I
not
don't know
something,
exactly
when
who
you're
you
talking about constitutional rights, when you're talking about constitutional rights being violated, these people are violating the law. It's not their constitutional rights being violated. These people are the ones violating the law.
as far as
Only half of
no,
people
it hasn't been
legally
proved that
don't have any standing to
One
be
minute.
here.
Can I
everybody that took
remind everybody, 1 minute, Joy. I kind of want to remind everybody that in 1996, when President Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was addressing immigration reform, he set the legal framework for expedited removal, right? So depending on how a person entered this country, then they have no due process. What I want to know from her statement is, what does she consider a citizen, right? Because an asylum seeker, as you said, somebody on a TPS, right? T stands for temporary. And so you find that people's TPSs are ending, but they were under TPS status, technically, kind of making them a citizen. So um, I don't know, it's just so much I want to say to that. I just felt that was the main important thing. Also, civil rights, right, is not immigration rights. So Asians fight for Asian rights, Hispanics fight for Hispanic rights, so on and so forth. But conveniently, Black Americans who fought for civil rights have nobody fighting for Black rights, right? And so I think it's really, really foul to say you don't want families broken up when our families are still broken up today systemically, right? And so I think our country has been gracious enough to these people. Everybody has latched on to our history, sort of to use the rights they didn't fight for. But when I say our country has been gracious enough, self deportation is an option and it comes with cash, right? But that's for law breakers. So if ICE is doing their job and it's only about illegal immigrants, why is everybody out there running amok, not being orderly? I'm looking at Minnesota, Minneapolis, wherever that protest is, and just like, how could this happen in America? Knowing if it was a Black person's issue and we went out there to rally, the National Guard would be out there before we finished making the signs. Like, I'm just fed up. Our country has been gracious enough and has allowed them an out. If they're out there running amok and they get harmed, when do we say, what type of accountability are they to take when self deportation is an option?
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm not
Thank
disagreeing with
you.
what you're saying.
Hello.
Okay. Well, do you have anything before we move on to next people?
No, you guys can go ahead on because I think it's going to be whatever I say is going to be an attack. And what you're not hearing is I agree with everything that you guys are saying. I'm not on one of the other, but I still say that we have got to stand up for other people, especially if they are United States citizens.
Okay, and you keep saying we have to stand up for other people. I
You
don't
don't
agree
have
that
to.
we
You
have to
don't have
stand.
to.
Hold on,
It's a choice.
I don't agree that we have to. We don't have any. We don't have any obligation to. We don't owe anybody anything. Okay. Now
Right.
you originally came in and you was all like, you almost implied that we do owe them because there were helpful white people in the past who helped us. We don't know it as Black Americans. We don't owe anybody anything. Period. But to say we need to stand up for them, what is the cause that they're standing up for? That we should be fighting alongside them for? Should we fight alongside anybody just because they're fighting? Or are we fighting for a righteous cause? Is this the cause we should even be fighting for? Is the question.
That's for everybody to make individually. That's the right that we have in the United States.
Do you think that this is the cause we should be fighting for?
I think if it's a person that is a United States citizen, should not be killed in the street, whether they're black, white, whatever color. If they are citizens, this is what I have a problem with because that is against the Constitution.
And I agree. I think you're kind of beating around the question though, because ICE is not out there targeting United States citizens. They're not doing that. United States citizens are literally organizing and trying to obstruct and get in the way.
We have the right to
When they do that, they're directly coming into contact with ICE voluntarily. They're voluntarily coming into contact and trying to obstruct ICE. And then an incident pops off. We're not gonna sit up here and act like these people were just walking their dogs and then ICE just blast them away. That's not what happened.
So what did y'all think about Black Lives Matter marches? Because that's what I participated in. What did y'all think about that?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, that was what happened with George Floyd. Was a right, constitutional right that was violated.
Okay, that's all.
All right. Yep. All right. Let's get to Louisiana, and then we'll get to Milos or Milos.
I'm on a totally different level. I don't think we should stand up for anyone that has not stood up for us. The issue that I'm having now is when I look at the situation in Minnesota, I'm looking at the people that are out there. I don't see any of the Somalian people out there. They're not even out there for themselves. The only people out there are basically liberal Caucasians, whitey people. I don't really see them out there for themselves. So why should we go out there and put our bodies at risk for a people that basically never even respected us? The first thing out of their mouth, I'm not black, I'm brown, I'm an Arab. They never even rocked with us. So why would we be out there? If these people are illegal, or if their immigration, because they say like 50% of their paperwork is falsified. If that's the case, then they should go back home. And as far as the immigrants, the Latino ones, when you cross that border through with a coyote or whatever, you know that you're not supposed to be here. You have to go. You have to have paperwork. That paperwork has to be processed. When you walk into this country and you know you did not fill out that paperwork, you know you've broken the law. So at any time, you should have to go back. You should be upset. It doesn't make a difference if you're here 20 years, 30 years, or 15 days. You broke the law. That's number one, which means you should go back to your country of origin and start over. It doesn't make a difference if you have 10 kids here or not. That's not the issue. You broke the law. You knew you broke the law. So why would we fight for that? Why would anyone fight for people breaking the law? So I guess somebody can just go into a bank and just take money because you're short on your rent? It doesn't work like that. You know you did it, so go back and then just start all over.
I second that. I think we would lose credit for fighting a cause that's illegitimate just because other people are fighting it. Because if that's the case, if that's the case, we will lose our claim to legitimacy. Okay, everything we've done has been according to the Constitution, according to the law, according to morality. We're fighting on behalf of people who are literally trying to obstruct what majority of the country voted for. I can't, and it doesn't help. It's not like these people care about us or help us to any degree.
They despise us. They actually despise us. These people are having slave auctions on the internet. They despise us. And no one wishes ill on anyone. But right now we need to basically reflect on ourselves. We need to heal ourselves. We need to get our own things in order. I mean, we have not made any major progresses in this country since basically these people have been coming over here since 1965. That's when basically everything stopped, because you got all of these foreigners, all of these people coming over, and they didn't have any good intentions for us, and they were undermining us. They were basically being a buffer class for the white people, and we haven't really truly made any progress. Now that we're basically delineating, now we're seeing progress. That's because we can see who the enemy is.
Yes, ma'am.
We can see the enemy. We know.
I'm sorry, Louisiana. It really disturbs me when people latch on the immigrants to our civil rights issues. Immigrants actually have immigration rights, and there's such a thing as immigration reform. In New York now, the mayor wants to give all people, even undocumented, all this and that. access to health, childcare, right? Well, if you're in New York, you understand how hard it is, how expensive it is, and when they usher these children into our classes or have to take time, specific time for them, then that takes away from our children learning, and that's all children who are legal or naturally born citizens for the undocumented or the illegal or the asylum seekers. They take resources from us. So let's be clear, the immigrants have their own set of rights, and that shouldn't be latched on to civil rights. They're basically hijacking our movement. They shouldn't be up anywhere talking about we, us, our civil rights, Harriet Tubman, that, none of that. They got their own history and their own land. And like I said, our country has been gracious enough. They have allowed them out with resource, a cash
Yeah.
assistance still.
True.
And Black Americans are still fighting for reparations in these places that are sanctuary cities, right? And some of them are showing up to our reparations here and saying we don't deserve what they need to deserve too. They don't got the bloodshed, the time, the toil on this land. Civil rights are for Black Americans. They have immigration rights. Or else they wouldn't have an Immigration Act of 1964. They would be latched on to stop doing that. Stop muddying the waters. That's to everybody. Hey, it's annoying. They have their own set of rights, Afro.
Real talk. Let's get to
Bro.
hold on. Because there's a couple people who haven't spoken yet. Before we get to an open panel thing, let's get to FBAJ. Then we'll get to HTX. FBAJ.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How everybody doing today?
Brother, talk to us.
All right, I'm gonna need these people to stop dog whistling for us to come outside. We are not coming outside unless it means for us to, go to the grocery store, pick up our kids from school, basically do civilian activities, be civilians. We are not going to go out there and march and protest. We have already done that. We've been there, done that. I'm tired of all these COINTELPRO operatives coming out of the woodworks like Goyo Bird song. I'm tired of these goddamn tethers begging for us to come save them when they didn't even bat an eye when our people were getting lynched. I mean, or getting strange fruited. I'm sorry, getting strange fruited, and still are to this day. I really do find it very repulsive and outright just ignorant of them to want us to put our life on the line for them after they came over here, benefited from our ancestors' hard work, got welfare, and defrauded the same system of welfare that they was benefiting from. No, it's time for y'all to go back home. I pray that Trump writes it into law that they can't be a part of our politics anymore. I also pray that when they come over here, they go through a lengthy vetting system before they're even allowed into our society. They've been coming over here with the third world practices, their third world ideologies, their religious systems that they bringing over here, trying to get Sharia law enacted over here in the United States of America. Just not too long ago, just some Saudi Arabian billionaires had meetings with Texas politicians, flew them out to Saudi Arabia to have a meeting with them about having Sharia law being written into law in the state of Texas. It's things of that, like it's just treasonous behavior going on, and we need to clean our house permanently and get these people up out of here. No matter if they're politicians, foreign and domestic, we need to get rid of all of our opposition, all of our oppositions, and not laying there.
Y'all didn't have to leave now. Come on now. I was just about to have old buddy speak.
Can I respond to her or respond to what was being said that was problematic? What she was saying before I head out?
Yeah, go ahead.
A couple of things when people bring up about these white tea people that were protesting with us, quote unquote, during the civil rights, you got guys like Bernie Sanders, right? Bernie Sanders allegedly marched with Dr. King, and this man's the direct. When he got in a position of authority, he didn't go and carry on with Dr. Martin Luther King. He actually undermined it. A lot of people use that as a photo op to say, "Hey, I was there," not to actually do anything that was substance for our people to advance our people as a collective. And they use and abuse the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, which is crazy, crazy work. So the nerve that people keep bringing that up, it is what it is. The other thing is we're not responsible for other groups of people. That's not our job. Our job is to take care of our own lot and keep it. That's even biblical within itself. You have your own lot in life, and you have to take care of that. And once we're doing that, now you have everybody that wants to make up the excuse to saying that we need to be good shepherds for everybody else. Also, the whole neighbor thing, that is for other people that is a part of your faith, not outside of the faith. So they out here trying to rock with people who are against Christian principles, who are even against just black people in general. Those are not your neighbors. And that's just keeping it 1,000. I don't like when people try to use the word of God in a way to promote cowardice and to undermine our people. That's the problem. And they give good black people who do study the faith a bad name, a bad rap. The Deacons Defense came from the Christian church, all right? We had real writers that were Christian people. Nat Turner and others. The audacity that this woman will say something like that to bring cowardice and doubt to our people is the reason why our people shy away from God in the first place. That's the problem I have with a woman that say that type of rhetoric. I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to speak, man. Great space. Salute to y'all. What up, ZZ? What up, BX? But y'all don't let these older people and these other people try to flex on y'all and saying as if y'all doing this wrong.
Did he say at the last sentence, that's the problem I have with women like that? Is that what you said? Or I
Yeah,
misheard?
she's just specifically her. Just specifically her.
Okay.
I'm not saying all.
You could
Just
have said
quit
people.
be
I'm trying to
quit.
get you out of the mindset. You could have said with people like her. Because
No, 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 no.
there's some men who will
She
come
was
up
a
here and do
woman.
it too, but we're not going to
It
do the
was
gender thing. I just
yeah, yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to
It's
point that out.
specifically her that said that, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we have women that are enemies in our community, and sometimes we have men that are enemies to the
Right.
community,
So
and we
I'm
have
just
to
I'm gonna
identify those
ask you
enemy
instead
as
of
an enemy.
accusing you. I'm gonna ask you instead of accusing you. The end of that statement, instead of saying women like her, couldn't you have said people like her? So that way we would know that it's both men and women instead of
I'm
signaling
specifically
her
talking
out.
about her.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
No problem.
pointing directly at the person who I'm speaking about because I don't
No
like what she
problem.
says.
Okay, thank you.
So they know exactly I'm talking about this woman. I'm not gonna dance around because she's a woman. If she's an enemy, she's an enemy. That's what's wrong with. I swear, this is what's wrong with some of the people in the generation. Y'all let somebody pass because y'all think that she's a woman. No, if she's an enemy, she's an enemy, and we need to view people like that who's an enemy, both male
Well,
or
okay,
female.
okay. Before we go, too far with it, I don't think she was saying. I don't think she was even disagreeing with your point. This is just miscommunication, and I don't want to derail the conversation. I was just saying that I think she was just trying to say that you didn't have to make it a gender specific comment. You could have made it a comment just in generally about people with that ideology, which wasn't gender specific. You know what I'm saying? And I get you were talking about her, um, but you said women like that, and there's already kind of like a stigma behind your approach to women. So I think she was trying to give you almost a heads up of, these are the reasons why when you say things like that, it can be taken a certain type of way. But
Exactly,
you
because I
made
know
your
who you
point,
were
she made her
talking
point,
about.
so the point's been made, right?
Yeah. That's all delineation is. I know who you were talking about, but I just wanted to give it a more way to cover everybody. People like that. So
I'm fine
that's all.
for your
I
ears
get
and
it.
everybody's ears. People like that, people who use Christianity in that manner, people who make these talking points to undermine our people, male or female, it does need to be called out for what it is.
All right. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Cool. All right. We don't need that. All right, this is not a a gender thing, and nobody was saying that it is a gender thing. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't mean it to come off that way, I'm sure, right? And BX was just specifying that it did. So miscommunication. It happens. We cleared it up. We all good. Now let's get to the next speaker. Let's get to
1 minute, Afro ZZ's box keeps lighting up. I'm wondering if she wants to chime in at this time.
Oh, can y'all hear something? When y'all
Yeah.
see
You're off your mute button.
Oh, my bad.
No problem.
I'm just doing my hair. If y'all can hear something, that's just me.
Okay.
My fault.
In this snow, you didn't get no snow in your area? About doing
we're
your
gonna
hair.
move on to the next speaker. We're gonna get to
That's why I'm doing my hair. No.
Solon Pisces. Solon Pisces. You got it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't participate in any of the protests, um, that's going on because my mama told me I can't leave the front steps.
Shout out to your mama.
Speak
Okay.
up a little bit because I can't hear.
You sound a little muffled.
Yeah.
No. That was the whole intent. I was just saying that. Yeah, I can't participate like any of the protests. I can't help no other group with their issues because my mama told me I can't leave the front steps.
All right. Shout out to your mama doing what she got to be doing. All right.
Yeah. She told me I can't leave the front steps. So yes, I'm gonna listen to her. I can't leave the front steps. Um, but I mean, we ain't standing in a way against them. We just not like we just mind our own business. Like we're just basically doing what we have to do. We have to sweep around our own front door steps. So, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna stand by. I mean, it's funny how all these groups, all these people want us to help. But then the only thing they could bring up was George Floyd. And the only reason why y'all was out there protesting with us, not for us, but with us, with George Floyd was because everybody got tired of being cooped up in their own damn house because of the pandemic.
See, that's what I was saying. And I've been saying this all last year. They were out there because it was the only thing they could do. And they were protesting because literally we were going through it. Six Flags was closed. There was nothing else they could do. And they were out there. They were like, oh, this is fun. They didn't really put in no real work like that. They weren't really working on no type of legislation or holding any politicians accountable, which is why you've seen after George Floyd, you ain't seen none of those people who had BLM in their bios and BLM in their hashtags and all that stuff. You ain't seen a word from them since. You ain't heard from them since then. Okay? Because a lot of people did it for a photo op because it was clicks and views and it would raise their status. Some people did it for fun to get out the house, and then they went home in their nice neighborhoods and they said, well, you know what?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then they want to turn around and act like we owe them something.
Oh, especially last year with the Mexicans, they was like, well, we help, we hold on. Man, fool, you helped y'all with George Floyd, that, right? We was out there protesting for George Floyd. And then I'm like, no, yeah. I'm like, do you know what happened around the same time George Floyd happened? No, the reason why you motherfuckers was out there was not because for us. Y'all did it with us just to get out the motherfucking house. That was it. Everybody got tired of being cooped up in the house, and everybody used that man's unalivement as an protest for his unalivement as an excuse to get up their house because I'm not near seeing one of you motherfuckers out here when Breonna Taylor. I didn't see y'all out there for her. So stop it. And then they be like, well, we was with y'all for civil rights. I said, no, y'all latched on to the civil rights movement because y'all was going through it. So y'all latched on to us like the leeches, like them little small fishes that be latching on to them sharks.
Real talk.
Latching on to them damn sharks. Like, because y'all was going through some stuff. But there was a time when y'all was like, no, we ain't going to help y'all until it affected y'all. That's when y'all wanted to be with us, not for us. And then around the same time, y'all was trying to fight to be white tea. So, miss and dismiss us with that.
Not only that, I also want to add this, and I appreciate what you've been saying so far. I also want to add this. A lot of these other groups of people, they were like you said, latching on. They were crowbarring their own individual agenda into the movement. They saw what let's refer to what if you want to refer to it as the Black Lives Matter movement or whatever the case is, whatever the George Floyd uprisings, whatever you want to refer to it as, right? They saw that as an opportunity to crowbar their own thing. So I saw a whole bunch of people creating many movements that they tethered on to the whole thing. So then it became a whole bunch of, well, we got to also talk about immigration, and we also got to talk about the LGBT community, and we got to talk about this and that. A lot of other people jumped on the bandwagon because they wanted to carry their own agenda. Okay, so a lot of that is not like, what's happening to Black Americans? What's wrong? I can't stand it. They saw an opportunity. They're opportunists, and they capitalize off the opportunity. I saw a lot of people out there with protests and stuff like that. They ain't got nothing to do with black people. They had signs and boards and stuff like that. Had nothing to do with black people. Had stuff to do with their own immigrant ethnicity and their own social class and things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
a
remember.
lot of these people were like, "Oh, this is a way I can advance my movement." So that's what it was.
Yeah, and then I remember going to those protests, like going to the George Floyd protests, and I remember seeing, mind you, this was a Black American man who got passed away by the hands of the police. Why why in the fuck I'm seeing Mexican flags being flew? I'm like, since when this man was Mexican, what's his name? Flores? I mean, was it actually Jorge Flores? What was it? What's going on here? Like, they were showing up to to the protest for our people, waving their flag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. Okay, so all of that, and then using that as a talking point to make it seem as if we're turning our back on them when they had our back. We are not going to be gaslit or shamed into fighting somebody else's cause with them utilizing the fact that they really colonized a lot of our movements. Okay, that the whole Black Lives Matter thing about fighting police brutality, a lot of that was colonized. Okay, you had people going in there and turning the whole thing in a completely different direction. Then it became about fighting against the Republicans and fighting against Donald Trump. When it comes to the issue of police is beyond Donald Trump. It's beyond the Republican Party. But yet people colonized it, people used it, people were opportunists, and they saw an opportunity and they seized on that opportunity. And now they're acting as if we owe them something. And I'm telling you right now, right here, we don't owe anybody anything. Period. All right, let's continue. Let's get to Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac.
Yeah. I'm pro ICE, man. We lost too many lives as far as, you know, the brown and the South Americans and the Colombians and the Peruvians. You know, they're giving immigrants a bad name. You know what I'm saying? They're mixing them up. What the immigrants need to do is, you know, the Eastern Hemisphere need to disown the brown ones. We ain't in it. They're all getting labeled all in a lump sum. You know what I'm saying? That's just like the mother that's homeless, you know, with 3 children is getting lumped up with somebody picking up the trash with schizophrenia. They're not the same people. That's why I don't like being labeled as the same people. I'm black. Don't label me as these other people of color that are going around terrorizing neighborhood, little young boys in ski masks, and you know, these people that don't work, these fathers that don't take care of the children. I don't see them as black. See what I'm saying? And I feel sorry for the immigrants that are getting labeled as crazy immigrants. Now they all in there lumped up. You dig me? They're lumping everybody up. They're lumping the Korean, um, Kia workers with MS-13s. They ain't the same people.
Okay.
So that's what the white man want to do. The white man want to lump up all the people of color and put them in the one lump sum. You know what I'm saying? And the Eastern Hemisphere people should be ashamed of themselves for getting lumped up with some nasty South American and Mexicans being lumped up. They need to have a world meeting. Don't lump us up with them. That's like somebody saying you a Haitian or you a Rwandan. Motherfucker, I'm a African American. Don't lump me up with none of that. I don't eat mud pies, and I'm not whatever them Haitians, them Rwandans, Hutu and Tutsi. We don't like being lumped up. That's what's wrong. Everybody is a diaspora, right? So yeah, these immigrants need to start separating themselves, and they need people to speak up. Don't be lumped up with no failures on earth. Why you lumped up? Are you lumping me up with these motherfuckers? I always had a pet peeve
Okay.
of
Well,
my
well, yeah,
girlfriend.
I got you, brother. But
I always had a pet
the
peeve of
language.
my ex-girlfriends dating
Okay,
both.
okay. Hold on, brother. Because I just want to ask some questions to clarify and all that stuff. Where's your family's ethnicity from? Your
I'm
family
black.
from where?
I'm from America.
Just both sides. Because this is my first time interacting with you, brother. So both sides of your family.
Yeah, both sides. My family's black. We
Okay.
pledge to be black. Everybody thorough.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody
I
got
got you,
money.
brother. I
Everybody got
got you.
good hair,
Okay, brother.
muscles,
All
good
right now. All
genetics.
right.
Everybody.
So I'm familiar with his voice, and he's going
Okay.
to give a lot of pushback. If you
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
go through
So
that after a while,
we don't try to hear you. Thank you. Thank you, though.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
we don't need to know about the ex-girlfriend. We don't care.
Okay.
You have Blitz returning to the panel, but I think this is
I
my
know. I know. I want to
okay.
hear I saw him. I
Hang
don't want
on
to
to
hear what
you,
he has to say. But
Mr. Matt.
all right.
Dominican. Ain't no thorough Dominicans.
Okay. Are you trying
So,
to? I wanted to ask. Do you think he was trying to be funny? Was he trying to be funny? Was he for
I think
real?
so.
No, he
I
wrote
think
it
he was trying to be.
deluded
I
like
was trying
that.
to get where he was going, but I'm like, is he trying to be funny right now? Is he? Because Bernie Mac, or is it he stuck in the house and he had a little bit to drink? Like I don't know what that was.
Sadly,
He has
it's
a little bit
all
of
the
a mental
lives with
issue.
him on it goes like
Oh,
that. He's
okay.
been
Yeah,
gone
that
for
was
a
a troll.
while.
Okay, he's just because
So with him,
I
there's
saw
no
him like,
telling.
I'm like, what is he
See
talking about?
nobody. You see nobody
Separating?
comment,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
man.
we need to
I mean,
separate the Eastern Hemisphere from the Venezuelans, and they need
I'm
to
like,
protest. And us I said, okay,
Looks like Babel.
okay. I was you got to work on your content, Bernie Mac. Come on now.
that
Yo,
was
use
weak.
his picture and his name. You got to come on, brother. You got to come better
Let's
than
go
that.
harder than that. For real.
All right. Everybody was just a little confused, not humored, to be honest. But you got it. Blitz, you back? How you doing?
yes, I am back, man. I'm doing great, man. I hope you guys are having a great day.
Yeah, it's cold outside, but we in here chopping it up, being warm. What do you think about the prompt?
So I think about the prompt. I mean, Black Americans standing back from ICE. I mean, where I stand with it, I understand both sides. 'Cause I mean, I have some Caribbean connection. My grandma is Haitian, so at the end of the day, I
You're a
feel.
little muffled though. Like this.
At the end of the day, I feel as I said, I have some Caribbean connection. My grandma is Haitian full blood on my paternal side. So at the end of the day, I feel for the immigrants, but at the same time, I understand how it works. I mean, if it's legal, the people just doing their job. But on the other side, the recent actions I've been seeing from ICE agents just have been completely savage. I would say barbaric, in my opinion, trigger happy, and I don't really see how this is being defended. I mean, the last guy that got executed, I mean, they pew-pewed him multiple times. His back was facing them. His weapon was already taken. So I think, I mean, defending that, it just a complete like bootlicker mentality. I mean, at the end of the day, it's rights that people have, and they're unaliving American citizens. And it seems that all this stuff is just politically driven. People aren't willing to see things from beyond a political party, from a leftist or a liberal or a conservative or any of these political ideologies. People are willing to ignore things that are irrefutably wrong just because it makes their political agenda look bad. And once again, the bootlickers in the comments responding, ICE was doing their job. They executed a guy because he was trying to defend a woman from being sprayed in the face with pepper spray when he simply didn't even pose a threat to them at all. His back was facing them. So it gets to a point where you're going to be honest and have some dignity, or you're just going to continue bootlicking.
Now, before you address, hold on, let's address the panel, not the comments. A lot of people get caught up with that, but let's address the panel. Let me ask you, we know what happened with the guy, and that's unfortunate. I will say that. It's unfortunate. The loss of life, period, is unfortunate. It's not something to be celebrated. Now, let's look at the context of the situation, okay? And they're out there fighting and protesting because he was protesting on behalf of another woman who was protesting. Should they be out there protesting at all?
I mean, that is a constitutional right. I think once again, it's
No, I'm not saying is it their right to. I'm not saying is it their right. I know it's their right to protest. You can protest for whatever reason. That's your constitutional right. But do you think that is something that morally they should be doing?
so once again, morally, if it is in their right and they're doing it without threatening these people, it's in the Constitution. So it's a moral action.
Okay. Well, that's your stance on it, and I respect that. I get it.
So
What
look,
do you think? What do you think should be going on, man?
so
What
at
do
the
you
end of the
think?
day, right? Me personally, I'm going to quote what Thomas Jefferson said. I don't think just because we feel like these people are agents and that they're cops or any federal agent, they are not immune from criticism. They are not immune from people disagreeing with the things they're doing. So I think people should continue doing what they're doing. I have no issue with them protesting ICE agents executing people in the streets. Thomas Jefferson was a guy who said, if the government is afraid of the citizens, then that's liberty. But if we are afraid of the government, that's tyranny. I
Okay,
don't
let me
think
ask you a
anybody should
question
be
though.
afraid
Let
of
me
the
ask you a
government.
question.
They are
Because it's
savages
not.
on the scum of the earth.
Is it them being afraid of the citizens when majority of American citizens actually did vote for ICE to come and deport illegal immigrants?
So
That's why Trump is
once
president.
again, but
So
we
they're
have to be able to differentiate them deporting illegal immigrants and them executing citizens in the street.
and I as
Bootlickers are
okay and as much as hold on because I agree with you on that. I don't want nobody being out here, unalived in the streets. I don't condone that. I don't agree with that. Let's add the context because that's very important. I mean, this is like a very serious situation. Let's add the context involved. These were not people who were just getting mail out their mailbox and then bam, ICE just came and ran them down. That's not what's going on. So when people who are having sympathy for them and advocating for them, when you all omit very key details and very important context in the situation, you're trying to skew a narrative. You're trying to push this narrative out here as if this is just happening to random citizens. These are citizens. However, these citizens are directly getting in the way with law enforcement doing their job that the American people voted for,
So
right?
if I'm be honest, once again, right, it seems that people aren't willing to see things outside of this right.
I'm not seeing things
But
outside
I'm
of a
trying to say
political
something.
view.
Listen
Hold
to
on, brother, because I'm not seeing things outside of a political view. But we do have to admit that politics are involved because you're bringing up the unaliving of people, and I agree. We don't have a disagreement there. However, you're saying you agree with people continuing to do what they're doing. I don't think that what they're doing is legitimate.
Constitutional.
Whether it's constitution, I agree that it is constitutional. However, when we tell people to stay away and that they should not be doing it, just because you have a right to do it doesn't mean it's something smart for you to do. Do you agree?
Yeah, but once again, it's always like, so it always leads back to this right here, right? So at the end of the day, I can say that he maybe shouldn't have been protesting, but at the end, but that doesn't equate to him literally being executed while on the ground with his back facing these officers, right? So the simple facts are, I don't want this to be a normality. Even though people are already normalizing and people are so desensitized, they think this is just something normal for ICE agents to do. And this is why I call people bootlickers. People are willing to negate all the objective, irrefutable facts of these cops being savages and absolutely trigger happy and respond with, well, people protesting. You should just stayed at home. Even though in the Constitution, that's your legal right. And that's what this country was started off. People resisting the government and protesting. It's a legal right. You people are bootlickers.
Okay.
I'm going to call anybody who agrees with what the ICE agents did that.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let's take these situations where people were unalived out the equation. Let's take them all out. What is your stance on them just protesting, period? Because I know, because you've repeated this a few times, it's their constitutional right. Do you agree with it? From a moral point of view, do you agree with it, yes or no? Because you're avoiding answering that.
A moral point of view, do I agree with simply protesting peacefully?
Do you agree with the cause that they are protesting? Do you think that their cause is correct or incorrect?
I don't
Whether
agree
it's
with them
legal or illegal.
I don't agree with them protesting simply illegal immigrants being removed, but that's not the only thing that they're protesting. ICE have unalived ICE. But hold up, bro. Can I land? Can I land a plane?
Okay, all right.
ICE, they have unalived 3 American citizens in this year alone. They unalived the guy on New Year's for simply letting off celebratory rounds, and the guy. So I'm just simply saying, I'm calling. People like to call out citizens all day. I'm going to call out the agents because they are held to a higher standard. I can concede to a point, but I can also concede that these agents are savages and they are lunatics in the brains. You can see this simply from the video. They respond with emotion. They respond with political driven motives. They saw a leftist and they said, well, my emotions are in the way. I'm trigger happy. This guy's getting in the way. He's making my power trip feel weak. So I'm angry. Okay. This is why they unallow people, because they get mad and they're on power trips.
Okay. Well, that's avoiding context a little bit, but we'll agree to disagree with that one. Let me ask you the most important question. Do you think that Black Americans should be involved? Is this a fight that involves us at all?
No, but at the end of the day, we are citizens, and once again, it's the bootlicker mentality. You think that you don't have a right to say anything, criticize. I can say whatever I want. I can criticize the government. I can call these people scum. I can say that Trump needs to be out of office, even though I don't have an issue with Trump. If I wanted to, I can say that. But in other countries, you cannot criticize the government the same way. In North Korea, you can't do this.
Okay.
So I don't think this is a fight.
Let me get back to my original question though, because I'm asking, do you think that this is a fight we should get involved in? And I think you're agreeing that we shouldn't be involved.
No,
this is not our fight.
I'm not. But this is the problem right here. I can say that we shouldn't be involved while also saying that these people are savages. These ICE agents are lunatics in the brain.
Stop that type of language. Somebody just commented they reported this live, right? It's in the comments, and I muted that. So please cut out that language with savages and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Like, let's keep it calm.
I'm sorry,
we got a lot of trolls.
I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion on ICE agents. That's how I feel about them. So if you're gonna drop me for that, I mean, I think they're scum of the earth. So if they report me, do what you wish.
I don't care if their page goes down. But the lie.
My problem. This is why I'm calling people bootlickers, right? People are saying that I'm not us. because I'm saying that these people are scumbags. I'm saying ICE agents are scum, and the idiots are saying I'm not them. You people are bootlickers, bro. You
Okay,
can't.
so you're saying that we quote unquote bootlickers
Absolutely.
because we're not protesting
No, no,
against.
don't strawman me. Don't strawman my point. I don't want you to. I'm saying because you're responding to me saying that.
Okay, sir,
No, because
you did a good
you're
30
saying
second
people.
pause.
Hold on.
That's
You're
why I
saying people.
interjected. So please do
Hold
not cut
on,
me off.
Solani, hold on.
But you're
You're saying
strawman me. I
people
don't
are
want
boot.
you.
You're hold on. You're saying people are bootlicking because
Absolutely.
they disagree with that, and you're saying they're bootlicking. I haven't yet to see anybody defend the unaliving of that person.
So
But for you to
that's
say
what I'm
that,
talking about.
but what people are saying is that they disagree with the protest in general. They don't agree with the protest, period. They don't think that the protest is something that anybody should be doing. You're trying to say, well, it's their constitutional right. But people disagree with that, and you're calling them
No,
bootlicking
because
because of that.
what I'm saying, no, because that's not my whole point. Once again, my point ties into the actions, the recent actions that they are doing, and I think that should be protested. That's not if the only
Okay,
thing being
but
protested.
however,
Hold
the
up. Let me
recent
say this, bro.
action, brother,
If the only thing being protested was
but the
simply
recent actions that they were doing has been built up over time. And we've been telling people all last year and all of this year that black people need to stay out, that there's no need to protest ICE. Let them do what they got to do. They have a job. Let them do that. And they're literally getting there to obstruct that. And that's causing a conflict and tensions are rising. And now this is what's going on because of that. So we said we
Black
saw this
Americans.
coming. We knew this was going to come eventually if they kept doing what they were doing.
What?
They kept on doing it anyway.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying it's the bootlicker mentality. Once again, I'm simply saying if the only thing these people were protesting was simply them removing illegal immigrants, then I would disagree with it. But
Okay.
like I said before, on the 1st of January, they pew an American citizen. So at the end of the day, I want these.
But they're not protesting that.
bro,
They're not protesting that.
You don't know
Tested
what
against
they're,
his death.
They're
They're
not
not
you don't know
protesting
what
that.
they're
protesting
protesting.
unalignment.
No, they're not. They're literally not. There's several interviews and all that stuff. What was the person's name
So
on the first?
look,
Hold on. What was the person's name on the 1st of January?
think like Keith or something. His first
You
name.
think like Keith? Because nobody's saying his name. Nobody's
Right.
mentioning that. These were the same protests that were going on before anybody was unalived. They're not protesting because people are being unalived. They were protesting the second ICE started deporting people. And you're trying to mention, well, citizens are being unalived. These are the same protesting that were going on beforehand. They're only mentioning citizens being unalived to fuel the protests that were already going on that pre-existed. The protest, the foundation and cause of the protest was fighting on behalf of immigrants staying in the country. And it has not changed. Anything else is adding fuel to the fire, but it's not changed the cause of the protest. And the cause of the protest is something that we don't agree with. That's what we're saying.
Okay, and I agreed. Okay, the cause of the protest, but at the end of the day, right, it's two sides to this. The people that are gonna bootlick for the American government and the people that are gonna have actual dignity and be able to stand up to these people.
Now,
Like,
do you not? Now, here's why we asked though for your ethnic background. Hold on. Here's why we asked for your ethnic background because we can't ignore. And I've waited to the end of the conversation for this. We can't ignore the fact that your Haitian background is going to be a factor in the way you perceive things.
it's absolutely not because once again,
No, it is.
no,
Because
can
you
I
said it.
finish
You
talking?
already
Bro?
said it. You
I'm
already
black,
said.
so
You
I'm
already.
Black American, and I tell
Let's
people,
stop. Let's not do that because
bro,
you
let's
already
not
said
do
it.
what?
You already said that it is. You already said that you have sympathy because of that.
For a black immigrant, for black Haitian immigrants.
Okay, but if you
Didn't say that at
you
first. Though.
already
Bro,
said it though.
I said for the Haitians. So
Okay.
once again, I'm black American
You didn't
first.
say for the Haitians.
Bro, why do you guys interrupt niggas when they try to talk?
Go ahead.
It's
Go
like,
ahead.
so once again, I'm born in GA, Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
I've only been to Haiti one time. So at the end of the day, I know that I'm black American. I know I'm not a geographical Haitian. So I'm not gonna sit up here and make it seem like I'm just born in Haiti, and I'm just so at the end of the day, right? You low IQ Black Americans and the low IQ Haitians who
Boy,
say
here we go.
who's inside. I
Let
don't
him
He just
talk.
said
Let him talk. Let him
what?
talk.
so
Black
why
Americans
Let
is
him
why
an
talk. Let him
elitist
talk.
group,
Let him
and
talk.
there's
Let him
go
go
to the
ahead.
things
comments?
with our
Go
culture
ahead.
and
Finish your
anything that
rant.
you
Go
can
to the
relate
comments
to.
once again.
Finish your rant. Finish your
Once
rant.
again.
Go ahead. Us
Once
low
again.
IQ Black Americans.
Fortunately, I'm not an immigrant. Fortunately, my mom is a Black American. Fortunately, my dad is a Black American. Fortunately, I'm Black American. And fortunately, I can say what I want. And fortunately, I don't have to appeal to your emotions. I think
Not
this
on this app. There's decorum,
so
right? You said
Jordan.
I set the
Start-
decorum early on, and you're
I
breaking
think
every last
anybody
rule of it, sir. Get your emotions in check, right? Stop acting like half a tether, and we won't have to call you out. Now land your plane. You got 10 motherfucking seconds because you're getting on my last
Ought to
nerve.
be listening.
so I'm gonna land my plane with this right here. So
Heather, he ain't half.
I'm gonna land my plane and say my granddad is Miles Davis. So I'm literally anybody calling me a tether is a low IQ bot. And you could drop
Your hold
And
on. Your
Heather,
I
I'm
will
that
grandfather. Hold
put
on.
person.
your
Hold on.
Your mama
Your
grandfather
is a
up
low
grandfather.
IQ
in the
bot just
Everybody,
like your
stop.
down.
daddy.
Stop.
You're
Stop.
Damn
Stop.
well.
stupid.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
drop
Stop.
Oh,
me.
Stop.
sorry.
Stop. 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 Your grandfather is the musician, the FBA historic musician, Miles Davis, the jazz player Miles Davis. Did you
Grandfather.
just say
His
that?
son is named Gregory Davis.
And that's your grandfather.
That's my
And you can
great
verify
grandfather.
that. On
My
what side?
granddad is Gregory Davis. His dad is Miles Davis
On what side?
on my paternal side.
On your paternal side. So where's your grandmother being Haitian from on your paternal side?
My it's on my dad's side.
On your dad's side, that's your paternal side, and your grandmother is Haitian. If
Yes.
your grandmother is Haitian, how? So you mean to tell me Miles Davis is your grandfather, and the woman he had children with was a Haitian woman? Is what you're saying, right?
No.
You're telling her, okay.
That's my great granddad.
This is just
Your
Umar
great
talk at this point.
granddad is
Oh
Miles
Lord.
Davis.
Gregory Davis is my granddad. His dad is Miles Davis. My dad, his mom is the only one that's Haitian. His dad is not Haitian.
Okay.
My granddad is Black American.
Okay.
That is simple
Got
logic.
you. We got
But
you. We
you
got you. We
guys are
understand it. We
so
got you. We got you. We got you. Now, before we move on, I will reiterate though that you said earlier in the conversation, and I took note of it. You said that because your grandmother is Haitian, that you do feel for them. You do have sympathy for them, even though you're not out there protesting. You do feel for them. You did say that. Okay. So your stances are going to be skewed because of the immigrant ties in your family. Even if everybody else in your family, even if, hold on, even if you have 3 foundational Black American grandparents and you only have one Haitian one, that one Haitian one, you just you just said, you conveyed that you have a sympathy towards them because of that.
so what? So
Okay,
what?
that's going to skew your judgment and make it
Not
not
skewing my
impartial.
judgment. No,
Bias.
you're making an assumption. My judgment isn't
I'm
biased.
not making
Bro,
an
my judgment is
assumption.
based off of
Speak
videos
yourself,
that
and
I've.
that's the end of this
Bro,
conversation. If you're not, sir, thank you.
that's why I'm saying that you guys are bootlickers. I
Okay,
literally
well,
see
you
this.
know
We
what? You don't have
booted
to.
up.
Hey, you a
Hold
bootlicker
on,
too.
hold
You
on.
cow down
You
twice
don't have to
supremacy.
be
Who's
here with
talking to
bootlickers,
that?
then. You don't
You a
have to be here with
COON
bootlickers.
there.
That's
Right,
cool,
you're a
but my
raccoon.
simple point
And
is
we
I
don't. I don't
literally
care about your
conceded.
opinion. I don't sit around bootlickers. I don't sit around people I feel are raccoons. I don't sit around immigrant sympathizers. Like I just don't go in spaces
Because I
that
can't.
have objecting views from mine. Why? Because they're problematic.
I'm about to
We
go.
done spent about 30 minutes on your one-sided
I'm about to
because
go.
of your one grandparent who probably didn't even have much influence on your life. Now we're here. Man, sir, I don't care about you. I don't care about your opinion. I'm a bootlicker. Okay, good. I'm going to be that. And guess what? I ain't going to be doing protesting or speaking about the loss of life out there because self-deportation is an option.
Yep.
So your low IQ, low comprehensive self doesn't allow you to see that the immigrants have options and you just want to take it out on ICE and those you feel aren't online with your line of thought, sir.
I agree.
Please
Let's
shut up.
you have a good
I
day.
agree.
Too much time on you.
Okay, because you keep unmuting yourself, and that's no, it's not your turn to speak. All right, and you will do this. We've encountered him before. We already know how he gets down. The reason why I bought him up for a particular reason, right? I bought him up because he is someone of an immigrant background, right? Yet he's trying to rationalize why this is immoral or this is illegal. And he's trying to make it seem as if we're doing something immoral or illegal. We're not doing anything immoral or illegal. What we're saying is that there are laws that everybody knows of, and everybody should be following. All right. Now, when people come up and they violate certain laws, when they violate immigration laws, then they have to go. There are a lot of immigrants in this country who've come through the legal way, who got all their paperwork in order, who went through the process, all of that stuff. Okay. And then you have people who don't come the legal way, who don't get their paperwork and all that stuff in order for whatever reason. It is what it is at that point. He admitted that because of his ties, whether it was his one great grandma or one grandma, whatever his ties are to Haiti, he does have a sympathetic view of things, and that will skew his judgment. And he's trying to make it seem as if his judgment is not skewed because of his immigrant background, and it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. All right. Of course. But do y'all see how hard they fight? This is why we ask for people's background beforehand. This is exactly why we ask for people's background beforehand. Okay?
And you know what? That whole spiel about him trying to act like he's on some self-righteous or some damn high horse because he just cracked the code on how bad police are. Oh my God, ICE are atrocious. They're this, they're villains, they're this, that, and other. Whenever somebody is talking like that to Black Americans, like we don't understand, we are not the group that understands the best of how worse they can be. You're clearly not in our circles. You're not like us. You a tether, you a half tether, you a white tea liberal. You've been under the indoctrination of a white tea liberal, something along the lines of that. Because every Black American understands, at least to a degree, well enough, how these white tea supremacists in these officers work in any level, whether that's as your local police or all the way up to an FBI agent. Nigga, we know how wicked these people are. So please don't come there talking about some, with this moral thing, like, we just need to feel so bad because they out here unaliving other American citizens that ain't done a damn thing when they unalived us. So please, that nigga was bullshit.
And
Hold on, and
to
the
use,
ones
to
and the two
use
white tea people that they analyze, they'll be the main motherfuckers on social media talking about, well, if
if they would
Tyrone
have
or
complied
Shanisha
and
should
all of
just
that, and
comply,
not
then they
only
would not be in their situation.
not
So
only that,
no.
hold on. Let me also just before I forget this, he said, well, they took a life of an American citizen earlier this year. Who? I think his name was Keith. See, you don't know his name. Y'all out there making it seem like we're doing this for nothing. No, y'all don't know his name. Y'all didn't know his name. Nobody is out there even saying his name now. His name is Keith Porter. I knew his name. He didn't even know his name. He's bringing up somebody who he doesn't even know. Okay? So no, the cause is not
mentioning the white
about
one.
the citizens that are being taken out. That's not the cause.
I'm going to give y'all a great example of what I call a 3 verse 1. Floyd Mayweather. One was Indian great grandparent, the rest foundational Black American. This refers to boxing, but I want you to hear these words. When he said, Puerto Ricans stick with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans stick with Dominicans, Chinese stick with Chinese, and I have to stick, God damn it, with my people first, Black Americans. Black Americans. So don't be discouraged by because they're frustrating, they're annoying. What's that man's name? Blitz. He's a 3-in-1 who obviously loves his Haitian side, and he's willing to put that over the Black American side. But then we have Floyd Mayweather out there who has basically the same, admixtures, right? And he said he's going to stick with Black Americans first. And that's why he provides certain opportunities for certain boxers.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask Afro, do they even mention that white tea woman that got unalive last week or the week before?
Do they mention her? They used to. Now they're bringing up this guy.
Oh, okay. Just asking.
Yeah, they're
Just
bringing up this guy. I mean, and it's interesting. They're bringing up the YT people. They're not bringing up anybody else. And this is just a reason why we shouldn't be involved. You can't tell us what cause are we getting behind? You can't tell us what cause we're getting behind to get
right.
involved.
It's going to turn into something nefarious.
Because it's not like it's going to stop what's going on. What change do you want to happen? You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. What change do you want to happen? You want nobody to be sent back home? Is that what it is? Nobody should be deported? Is that what it is? Because that's what they were fighting for last year. Okay, it's not like George Floyd where we were literally asking for police reform. What change is this going to bring, or what change do you even want? It seems like people are just mad. Now,
Seems like they just want the status quo back.
yeah, okay. Let's get to the new speaker on the panel. Let's get to how you pronounce your name, Larix?
Lear?
Lear.
Lear. Like Blair
Le-
or Claire.
Lear. Okay.
Yeah, but I wanted to tell you guys, do not listen to those people. Black Americans, and I'm an immigrant, I'm Haitian. Do not listen to these people talking about, it's like, I don't understand why is it that Black Americans, you guys are the ones that need to be in the front line. As if like you guys have some like type of superpower. It's like, what is going on? You know? And it's so crazy. Yeah, now they're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm pandering and things like that. But no, I'm not. Like, I feel like if you're an honest person, if you're unbiased, you should be able to understand where Black Americans are coming from. You should be able to understand their perspective of not wanting to put themselves on the front line, considering how this country treats them. That's one, and considering their history, their contribution to this country. Like all the civil rights movements came from Black Americans. Immigrants, we would not be able to be in this country if it weren't for Black Americans. Yet they still get disrespected from other groups of immigrants, from other groups of freaking whitey people. It's insane. It's insane. And then now they're here killing freaking white people. Like what the hell do you think they're gonna do to Black Americans? It's so crazy. And then just the other day, Trump said, what did he say? He's here talking about, oh yeah, the majority of the ICE agents, they're Hispanic. So now you need to tell me Hispanic, they're here killing their own
You gotta just be careful with the
Unalive.
case.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
you
so
can't
sorry.
use that language.
You gotta use it alive.
I apologize, but it's like you have Hispanics that are a majority of ICE agents are Hispanic. They're going against their own community, and then you guys want Black Americans to get in the front line. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. And not only that, they also voted against their own interest. It's like, I don't get it. I really don't. And I feel like that's the thing with us Black people. Like, we love to help other people out. And I'll give you another example of this. Haiti, we became and I feel like this is another reason why I'm a little passionate about this. And then some people are going to be like, oh yeah, how can you have this point of view? You're an immigrant, you're Haitian. How could you have this POV? Well, I have this POV because I feel like I resonate, because the things that you guys did, you guys love to help others out, but nobody ever comes to y'all's defense. The same thing happened with Haiti. When we became the first Black republic, we were demonized, dehumanized for it. And now we're still struggling. Nobody ever comes to our defense. All of the other countries we helped in Latin America, they look down on us. They're very anti-Black. And no, absolutely not. But yes, that's what I wanted to say.
You know, you bring up a point, and I want to ask you about
I'm a
something.
little crazy. I'm sorry if I sound a little freaking insane.
Yeah, I understand the anger and everything like that. I want to bring up a point. I'm glad that you brought it up, actually. I'm actually glad that you're here, because I recently saw a video of, I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but apparently CARICOM is not accepting Haitians or something of the sort like that. They're not they're excluded. There's like some refugee thing that they're not accepting Haitians.
Oh
They're
yes, that's
accepting everybody else in
yes,
the Caribbean except
yes.
Haitians.
Except Haitians. Yes, it's insane. It is
Okay.
insane. Saint
One
Kitts.
moment, Leah. Is it CARICOM or St. Kitts
Yeah.
and
What?
Nevis?
Yeah. What is it exactly? What is it?
I know what it is, but I want to know if she know what it is.
I think I'm not too sure what is going on.
Okay.
I'm not too sure what is going on, but I do know that they don't want Haitians on their land.
So
Okay.
this is what it is, Afro. CARICOM has accepted Haiti to represent in reparations. AU denied Haiti. What it is that Haitians are making deals with other governments to take out USA deportees at this time, right? So St. Kitts and Nevis said for security reasons, they do not want Haitians there, but they're willing to take on any other Caribbean only. So, are they going to take not Puerto Ricans, Dominicans? I don't know. But one he said that can't go there is Haiti because of security issues at this time.
Okay. All right. Now we know. Thank you, BX, for adding the context to that. Okay. Now we know the history, right, of the Caribbean and all of that stuff, and particularly of Haiti, right, and all of the work that Haiti has done, really, that has set a precedent for the entire Caribbean. Shout out to them for that. And how we see Haitians in particular when it comes to Caribbean people, Haitians are looked like kind of like the ugly duckling of the Caribbean,
Exactly.
where they're talked about and all of that stuff. So bringing that up, because last year we were having a lot of debates about Pan-Africanism, right? And when we talk about how Pan-Africanism doesn't really exist everywhere else, and people are like, no, everybody loves everybody. I think the situation with Haiti is an example of the fact that there's not Pan-Africanism in the Caribbean. Would you agree?
Oh yes, absolutely. I agree.
Okay. So when we say things about Pan-Africanism or the ideology of Pan-Africanism not existing worldwide, people will tell us, no, everybody gets along. Pan-Africanism is global. But yet we see everybody else turning against each other. Even the Caribbean is not fully united, with Haiti of all places. So I want us to use that as an example when somebody brings up, oh, well, Pan-Africanism and we're all from the motherland and we all got to stick together. Why aren't the Pan-Africanists saying, well, the Caribbean needs to stick together? I've yet to see a Pan-Africanist or any panels or anything like that calling out the lack of Pan-Africanism among the Caribbean. There's not Pan-Africanism or unity among the Caribbean, yet I don't see anybody talking about the lack of Pan-Africanism. The only time anybody talks about the lack of Pan-Africanism is when it comes to America, is when it comes to us. You see how that works? You see that? Think that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's insane. Don't help nobody out. No, everybody. When you think about it, everybody is for themselves. Everybody is for themselves. I feel like the thing is within Black people, we have this sense of like, oh my gosh, we need to help other people out. We need to help other people out. No. Especially in this political climate, you see what they're doing out there. No, this is about self-preservation. Obviously, kind of like do your due diligence. Like I feel like what they're trying to do, they're kind of like trying to weaken the system. Like, just be careful. Do not put yourself out on the front line. And it's so crazy. And the thing is, you see all of them protest all the time. And there's a lot of them. There's a majority. Like, when you're seeing the protests, there's a lot of them. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, why is it that you guys want Black Americans specifically? I don't understand. Like, what is it that Black Americans are going to do that you guys can't do? I don't get it. Because there's a lot of you guys. If you guys really want to, and then the thing about it, when you're looking at those white tea people, you see how they acted on January 6th, I believe. Is it January 6th? They know how to protest. They know how to really get mad when they want to. Now, all of a sudden, they want to sit here and throw little snowballs and act like they don't know anything, as if like.
Can you 1 minute? Because I got to tell you what's special about Black Americans. We stay here, we enact change, right? We fought so good and we fought by ourselves. Let me be clear. I don't agree with Joy about the white tea people and all that. Their role was minimal. We emancipated ourselves here on our land. We've been attacked over 60 documented times, had over 250 slave rebellions on our homeland. And what's special is that we've managed, even though and through subjugation, racial violence, all this stuff, managed to win civil rights that everybody comes here and abuses, right? That's what's special about Black Americans, and that's why they want Black Americans out there on the front lines. We
Okay.
make changes. So please,
Okay, I
because
see.
the way you were so, I don't know why they always are like, no, ma'am, we know why.
No, I
And
didn't
I
mean
want to
it. I didn't
remind
mean it.
everybody
Listen,
to make
We
it
know
listen.
you
like
didn't
that.
mean it that. We're just giving you the answer as to why they're doing it.
Okay, I see.
They're
I
doing it
see.
because we bestow a sense of legitimacy.
Okay, okay,
You
I get
know,
it.
that enacts real justice and change. But because this is not our battle. This is not a
Oh,
battle like
that's why.
you
Okay, now
us.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I was like, what is going on? But now it all makes sense. Okay.
yeah.
But yes, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for having me on here. But yes, self-preservation. Do not go out there for nobody unless you guys want to. Do not let anybody try to make you feel bad about your decisions either.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. All right.
Hey, Afro.
What's up?
I'm just about to step down. I just wanted to say thank you for letting me speak, and just to reiterate what I'm saying before, it's not our responsibility to help out other groups who have always been hostile towards us. And then on top of that, I want to say if we see how these people acted before Trump got in office. Another thing I want to say before I go is, can you just imagine how these people treat the black folks in their country? So when they come over here towards us, we're just another tribe or whatever to just get out the way. So yeah, it's not our responsibility. But I don't know if I can smoke an ice pack, but I'm gonna try. So
You can drink one.
be one, everyone.
You light it up, it's gonna be liquid. But
Yes, be one, everyone.
Black first to you, brother. Always appreciate your support.
One.
We're gonna get to Washington, Washington
Annie.
Nan, and then nobody
Annie.
and Mr. Seth.
Hi, Afro Elite. Thanks for letting me come up. And as to the prompt Black Americans standing back from ICE, no Black Americans should be out there protesting, period, for no reason. And the only reason the YT people are out there protesting is because they immigrants. The only people, that's true to America is Black people. Everybody else are immigrants. So that's why they're out there. And if they wouldn't be out there, they wouldn't be getting laid down. It's sad, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but don't go outside. If they're not looking for you, why are you out there?
Mm.
And that's pretty much all I came up to say. And thanks for allowing me to come up.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And that's what I was trying to say. Okay. Whether it's your right to be out there or not, I don't think anybody's arguing that. Nobody's saying you don't have a right to protest. What we're saying is, what is the cause of it? Do we protest just because it's a Sunday? Just because it's something to do? Like, is that what we're doing now? Exactly. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. All right, let's get to nobody.
You can drop me.
All right, got you.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Now, salute Afro, salute to the panel. Just I actually wanted to address that half Haitian crazy dude that was talking earlier, because I wanted to address all the points you asked him. Is I think he wasn't understanding the full scope of why Black Americans, and also the point earlier about we are the consciousness. That's why everyone wants us on our side. That's why everyone is either co-opted our movements or wanted us to sign on to theirs. And we've always optimized that because we're not hoarders of social liberation. So I think that's the problem with this kind of whole situation is people are expecting us to be reactionary, and we're not. We're being a lot more strategic and tactful with how we're doing things. And I think people should just respect that. I'll land my plane.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes, indeed. Mr. Seth, you got it. And then we can start wrapping things up around here.
Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
Yes. Yeah, it's like this here, and I'm 100% with y'all, echo y'all sentiments. Because if you are a citizen in this country, yes, you should be, not messed with. And if somebody does mess with you, whoever it is should be held accountable if you're a citizen. But if you're not and you immigrants, then they have to do their job, because Obama, Bush, and Clinton did 5, 6 times more than what Trump is doing. You understand what I'm saying? As far as deportation, that's just a fact. That's on record. And I'm not saying Trump is perfect, but what I'm saying is this: we got too much on our plate to be worried about everybody else. Because before Trump got in office, we knew how they was acting. They wanted to segregate themselves, be in their own little box, and profiting our monies, and not and treating us like we are blood, a red-blooded stepchild. And it just is facts. I'm gonna land with this. My dad, he's 80 years old. I'm 40, and he said when he was growing up, it was black business thriving. But he said even in that small southern town he's in now, he said it's mostly foreigners. I mean, there's a lot of foreigners. And that goes to any big city. Well, I don't care if you're in Cleveland, Detroit, Cincinnati, whatever. It is like that. Foreigners have taken over, and they getting the monies from the BLK and not treating them right. And we get little to nothing. It can even be in small hick towns. Like I said, listen, sympathize for people. You can do what you want to. You can protest. You got a right to protest, but know what you're protesting for. And like I said, if you are a citizen and you're legal, then fine. Nobody should mess with you, and I stand 10 toes down on that. But if you're not, then they have to do their job. Sorry, not sorry, and I land my plane.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Come on now. And when I told the guy, he was like, well, yeah, the citizens, they're out there. I'm all like, okay, well, citizens are kind of fighting on behalf of what most of America voted for. What most of America wanted. Most of America said that all this immigration went too far. It's either true or not true, and that's true. Most of America said that. So at this point, what are we doing? Are we going to sit up there and protest anything and everything we don't like? Even if it's illegal? Even if it goes against the Constitution? Now you're literally putting your life on the line, because, after Renee Good, do you think people would calm down, settle down a little bit? You're willing to put your life, your safety and your life on the line, if you have kids or not. You're willing to be like, I'll sacrifice my kids on behalf of what exactly? On behalf of who exactly? And then to gaslight people and to shame people for not getting involved, calling them bootlickers and all of that stuff. No, you're doing that because your grandma's involved. And her immigration status, she might have an anchor baby or two. I'm not trying to insult nobody's family. But you're doing that because you got family involved in it. And you're trying to make it seem as if this is something righteous and not personal. And that's why I brought him up here. Is because when these people advocate, no, we should be doing that, and ICE is evil and ICE is vicious and they're monsters and all of this stuff, you're saying that because it's personal to you. You're not saying that based off of no moral values, no Christian values, no political righteousness or anything. No, whatever you got going on is a personal issue. And you're trying to garner people and assemble people off of guides of things that's personal to you, but not personal to everybody else. No, this is not personal to us. No, we don't have any personal stakes involved in it, and you're not going to make it seem like we do. All right. You're not going to try to manipulate people into getting involved. All right. I think we can get everybody's last words and then wrap things up. This has been a cool live, despite the numbers kind of jumping back and forth. It's kind of crazy, but it is what it is.
TikTok was tripping.
Yeah, I know. So Mr. Seth, you can go ahead and give us your final statement.
Yeah, I'm just going to be about 30 seconds. And I'm just going to echo what I said before and echo everything. If you're a citizen and you belong here legally, then fine. You should not be messed with, and you should be protected under the law. And I stand 10 toes down on that. But if you're not, then it's like us. If we go into a store getting stuff without paying for it, or running a stoplight, or when it's speeding, we got to be held accountable too. Sometimes you just got to comply, because it's like old people saying, unless you're willing to knock them out or take them out completely, just comply. If you're not supposed to be here and everything, you got to go through the proper channels, and just reapply. And like I said, just let them do their jobs. This is the law, how it's situated for right now, and they just got to follow the law. And like I said before, 3 other presidents before Trump did 5-6 times more than what he's doing now in deportation. So, just hey, sorry, not sorry. And I let my plane on that.
Yeah, we're wrapping things up. There's people want to come up, but yeah, maybe next time. Just follow us for next time, okay? Follow us for next time, okay? All right, Sulan Pisces, you got it.
Yes. I'm gonna say this. When they come up here and say why we're not protesting, use that excuse that I use. Like, seriously, just use that excuse that I use. Like, hey, I can't go because my mama said I can't leave the front stoop. I couldn't leave the steps. I got to stay on the porch. So that's why I'm not doing it. But my thing is like, no, this is not our fight. This has nothing to do with us. And one thing they will try to use, a lot of these melanated immigrants, is they will use the whole, well, we all black. I'm going to say this. I am 25 and 12. If you can do the math, you know my age. So I am 25 and 12, about to be 25, 13. And I remember a time when them saying melanated immigrants all said that they was not black. They inserted their nationality in their tribe. I remember that, and I remember that heavily. So we gonna treat y'all like we did prior to the Black Panther. You're not one of us. And plus that, us Black Americans, if you want to go off ethnicity, we can't be deported. So they can't. So we're not next. We're not the ones that's going to be next. We're showing version of us being next. We can't get deported. We've been here for the past half of a millennia or more. So with that being said, you can't next us. So you can't guilt us into doing something that we don't want to do. We all grown. We all adults. Alrighty. Y'all wasn't there for us when our people was getting that same treatment, like Renee Good, like old dude, like Keith Porter. But I'm gonna say Keith Porter, he gonna put it in the same box of what was happening to George Floyd, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, because I'm gonna put him in the same box. But y'all wasn't there for us like that when when we was getting powwowed and unalived by the hands of police like that. And if y'all did, it was only for George Floyd because pandemic, hello. So that's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. I landed, and y'all have a blessed day.
You too, thank you.
Please.
Oh, and Kareem James. I remember watching her alignment in real time on Facebook Live. Her too.
Yeah. They weren't out there then. All right. Y'all make sure y'all go to For the Culture on YouTube so y'all can listen to the playback of this. All right. And all of the good, we got really good lives, really good podcasts, really good playbacks, all of that stuff. That channel is fully loaded with a lot of good, high quality content. Y'all want to make sure that y'all go there and y'all subscribe, watch the content, all of that stuff. You also want to make sure that you guys follow us. That way, when we do go live, you guys get the notification so you guys get to join the conversation. All right. We also have our own individual YouTube channels, which you can find if you go to For the Culture. So For the Culture, that's key. Okay. It blew up last year. It's going to blow up even further this year. All right. It went from like arguably 3,000 to like over 10,000. Easily. Okay. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. And people are definitely going to be talking about it this year. It's nonstop. That channel's fully loaded. Great content.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Zizi, you have anything you want to say? Closing statement.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know what the hell going on with this TikTok though. That was weird. I just had to block a couple people. I don't know why the flood of damn trolls just came in here that last.
It's weird today, don't you think? It's like odd.
Weird.
It's like they come up and there's a dozen people in the queue, and then 2 seconds later, there's not. The dozen people only have 3 followers. It's like it's weird.
I think it might be the topic too. Maybe just because a lot of them was saying like Trump is good, ICE is good. So I'm like maybe a troll, attracts less. This topic might attract a lot of trolls too.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's weird though. I don't know. But yeah, black people, black Americans, this ain't got nothing to do with us. I am very proud, okay, to say the least, that to see so many of us on code, and not engaging with this nonsense. This is not our fight. This is not our problem. We know about police brutality. We have been the victims of the worst cases of police brutality. So please miss us with some bootlicking self-righteous bullshit that we try to guilt shame us into something that we shouldn't feel guilty for. All right. So yeah, it's good to see us not participating in this. This is not our fight. Yeah, shout out to Black Americans, stand no business. Best of luck to those that's out there, but y'all gotta take y'all asses home. Again, self-deportation is still available. You can still take your ass home. So yeah, instead of standing out there risking your life or asking other people to risk their life, how about you go to your homeland and risk your life there, building your own damn country? Shit, man, that's all. Ignorance.
All right. Alrighty then. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here all of a sudden. Some people, hey, y'all should have been here earlier. What took y'all so long? Should have been here earlier because we wrapping it up. Okay. BX, can you close us out, please?
Sure, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, everybody who had gifted the platform, shared the live, and tapped the screen. You are all appreciated in all forms of support that you give Afroly, co-host ZZ, and even me, the head mod, right? I just want to say this. I get sick and tired of everybody, right, who doesn't identify as foundational Black American, even those of the lineage who could identify as such, comparing our civil rights to the immigrant plight. And I don't like the fear mongering tactics. I want to acknowledge that we never said the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen. We just questioned the numbers. And we also understand ethnogenesis, and that once a people are captured by their own people and given to a foreign looking people, then they cease being that people that captured them. So stop calling our ancestors or comparing them to being immigrants. That's a whole different set of circumstances, right? And they helped and contributed to a new ethnicity, which is us. We are a new people who built the foundation of this homeland. We had a different fight. We still have a different fight. And an immigrant who willingly migrated here, especially during the time of print media, understood what Black Americans were going through on this soil. This is not our fight. Right? Those who wish to go protest, do so in peace, but self-deportation is an option. And you shouldn't come on this platform calling us bootlickers if you're not going to the Latinos who are primarily on ICE. If you're not asking the immigrants why you say the white T man is bad, and then you fled to what y'all say is his country to strengthen his government and his military. And I want to tell you this, those who migrate here and get in the government, vote no to repair for foundational Black Americans. And we face unprecedented, violent at times, discrimination from those same people you want us to go out and fight for. But y'all don't want to talk about that, right? So, be easy. We don't have to go stand against ICE, right? We are sitting it out. We're sitting on the couch, and everybody do so without looking for those who chose to sit on the couch. We aren't obligated to do anything for y'all, especially when y'all have never fully stood collectively in alliance with us. Y'all do better in your homeland. Put that energy over there so you can have some of the things that you wish you could have that you have had here. I land.
All right. So I'm talking about real talk there. Real talk. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Be good and be safe. Be good and be safe. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yep. Y'all be safe. It's cold out here. It's dangerous. It's snowing right here where we are. So that means it's gonna be ice soon. Road's gonna be pretty bad. It's already cold. Y'all, we need to stay warm. Look out for each other. Don't be outside if not 100% necessary. I get people gotta go to work and all that stuff, but if it's not 100% necessary, just stay inside for the week. Stay inside until all this blows over, okay? You don't want to get caught out there. So with that being said, y'all make sure y'all go follow For the Culture on YouTube. Very, very important, okay? And I will see you guys. Y'all be safe. I will see you guys later.
Be one.